that. Okay. Multi-stream.
Why am I wearing? Shouldn't you be wearing this?
I can't wear both.
You can.
I can't. All right.
Yours is cut off at the screen.
Yeah, I know. It's perfect. What a great plan. Good evening, everybody. All right. So
Nobody on.
I'm wearing this hat in honor of our friend that's on the phone. It's his birthday. Wait, is it your birthday?
My birthday? Am I already on? Hey. Yeah.
We haven't officially started yet. We're live, but we haven't
Clivis,
officially started.
Clivis says, "Oh my God, finally!" What is this? Who is that? Default Gen, Jen. I don't know what that is. Okay.
Oh, that's our friend Tyler. He probably wants to talk to.
Wouldn't you want to
The
talk
miner.
to him? Yeah, the RGM here.
Yeah.
So, all right, we are going to do the intro. We'll do the regular intro to the podcast. I will introduce you, and then we will we'll go from there. And I need my notes, which I have jettisoned over here. So, all right.
You really have the title of the live stream, Retro Gem Miner, aka Chase Peridot. No one knows what that is, but if you type game investing, you might like catch someone who actually thinks,
Oh man,
this is a serious discussion.
can I change it? It's too late. Fuck, I didn't think this through.
All right, whatever. I'm just your SEO guys. No problem.
I can stop it and restart it.
Do it.
I don't know. I don't know if I can.
I didn't
We got
even
people in the
see Jay's
chat.
hat, by the way, I love it.
What's the hat?
Jay's hat. Oh, it's so good.
we
I love
thought
that
we
hat.
thought you would like the hat.
Got a straight bill too.
There's one more thing on the set that we thought you'd really like.
Oh, I'm not looking close enough. Is it all the Great Wada games?
It's-
Is it me
It's a
in the
specific
background?
one.
It's one specific one.
Look in this area.
Oh, it's Star Voyager. Whoa, is that a hang tab?
It is a 10.1 hang tab. Yes.
Nice.
Yep.
Wow.
It was the rare black and white variant from Hong Kong.
These are like
AKA the photocopy.
no one understands these references. This is already a podcast for nobody.
Yep, I know that. All right. We knew that. So don't worry. That's the whole point here. Okay.
Okay.
So, we ready? Retro, we did it. We did it. We ready to go?
Yeah.
Can I lose the hat yet?
No.
When can I take the hat off?
Never.
Okay.
It's your birthday.
All right, we're going to start the show. If I can find the sounds here. All right.
I like that we lost 2 people from the stream. I can't watch the stream numbers. It's too sad.
It's me, the Flayo. We did it. Retro VG. He's like, it's me, the Flayo. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. What's up, Joe? All right, ready? All right, we're going to play the intro music, and then I'll go through the standard intro, and then we'll introduce you. So don't say anything until then. Cool. All I can hear is this thing in my head.
Okay, take it off.
All right.
Just take it
sorry.
off.
I can hear the shit. These things are fucking with me. Anyway, all right. Welcome back to the Lost Joystick Network, episode 53. I'm your host, Mike, joined as always by my co-host, Jay. Jay, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Good. We have a little special guest on the line.
Do we?
We sure do. So, some of you may know him as Chase Peridot, but I think most people know him as the Retro Gem Miner. And he's here to provide us some information about what he's been up to and some information around investing in video games and how the market trends are trending and so forth. So Chase, how you doing, buddy?
Hey guys, it's me, Chase Peridot, marginally popular meme in an incredibly niche collector community from 3 years ago. If you're still waiting for a new video, it's not coming. What's that? Everybody stop listening to the podcast. Okay. Well, I'm here. I'm going to talk for an hour or two about game investing. We're going to see how long it's possible for me to stay ironic and in character for the course of an entire podcast. What's a character? What's irony? I don't know. Why am I saying these words? That's a really strange thing for me to say. I mean, how are you, Jay? And Mike?
Chase, I am good. Thanks for coming on to the show. I know you've been pretty busy working on some investments. I'm sure we'll talk about those a little bit later tonight.
I think Grail Nation can't wait to hear about it. They have been clamoring. Like Grail Nation has been sitting with bated breath. And I think this is the moment they've been waiting for, because the response we got once people heard that Chase was going to be on, or RGM, I might just call him RGM. Is that okay if I call you RGM, sir?
You can call me whatever you want.
Perfect. Well, then the Retro Gym Miner.
Jay has to call me Chase.
I will call you Chase.
That's perfect. All right. So generally how we start the show, Chase, you're a busy man. I'm sure you don't listen. Nobody else does, so I'm sure you don't either.
We sell tickets for the show.
But usually how we start the show is we kind of go over our weeks. So if you want to kind of tell us how your week has been or what you've been up to recently, or we'll start with your week. Let's just start with your week. How's your week been?
I have no idea, man. How's my week been? I've actually been playing way more video games than usual. Am I supposed to talk about that now, or do I have to wait till later?
That's what you've been doing.
Like in the past week, probably 50 hours of video games, and I don't play that many video games, man. But the Steam sale's been going on, so it's time to load up on games I'm never going to play. But I've actually been trying to play them. I'm playing some Opus Magnum and RimWorld, games that people listening to the show don't know what they are.
There's going to be a lot of that, I think.
You know, RimWorld, it's like Dwarf Fortress for dummies. What's that? People don't know what Dwarf Fortress is? It's fine. Just go back to your consoles, you children, and play your games with like auto aim and quest markers, but it's a game like Dwarf Fortress.
So it's like GoldenEye.
What? I actually like GoldenEye, so I can't even give shit to GoldenEye. That's a good game.
Moving on.
Right there.
Jay, how's your week been, bud?
It's been great.
Yeah?
Yeah. Haven't been playing a ton of games.
Yeah.
I'll kind of preemptively let the cat out of the bag since you asked me first, and I didn't get a chance to ask you. Been good. Went out of town for a couple days.
Yeah.
Went to good old McCook, Illinois.
We did.
Yeah, the VGS.
We did.
Sold some video games.
Yeah, I was hawking, man. I was looking for any opportunities I felt like I was trying to like channel my inner RGM and run around and like find the things I thought that were undervalued or under-recognized, and where can I take advantage and exploit the market? But, it was a lot of normies, so
yeah.
Anyway.
I got to wheel and deal a little bit there.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
What'd you do?
So, anybody that listens to the show knows Robbie's buddy, Frank Caputo. And Frank came over and he was annoyed because he keeps going over this guy's table. And the guy had James Pond on the Genesis.
The guy's name is Alex. He owns a shop in Niles, Michigan.
Yeah. And Frank said, man, guy's got it marked for $20. I keep asking for
What was it?
What's that?
What was it?
The game.
What game?
James Pond.
The aquatic game.
Yes, aquatic games, James Pond. Sorry.
Yeah.
But he said, I keep asking the guy $15 and he won't take it. It was marked at 20.
Yeah, Frank continually went over to this guy trying to get him to take $15 for this game that he had marked at 20. Yes.
Yeah. And so I said, give me the $15. I'll go get it.
I mean, this is like, now it's the end of the show. We're in like, First of all, the show was supposed to run from 10 to 5, just like the last VGS we did a couple of years ago. By 2:30, it was a ghost town.
Yeah.
The same 5 people that were there at 10 o'clock, there were plenty of people there. Don't get me wrong, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But at 2:30, it became just the people who hung out until the thing ended. Like there were not that many people left, other than the vendors. So go ahead.
So I'd never heard of this game before. So I had no idea. And I was like, give me the $15. I'll go.
You don't know James Pond, the aquatic games?
I didn't know it. So he gives me the $15. He's like, you're not going to get it. So at this point, like everybody over by our area, because there's like a dozen of us over there.
Yeah, we were clustered. It was myself, you, Retro Game Enthusiast, Robbie, 8-Bit Supremacy,
Milwaukee
Frank,
Retro Gamer.
Kalen, Matty was on the other side, but he was there somewhere. Good.
So I go over there and I'm looking for this game. And our friend Eric, who's also another friend of Robbie's, he walks over because we walk
Eric
over there.
Fostel, yes.
And I have no idea what I'm looking at the red boxes and I don't see it.
We've now walked over there and we can't seem to locate the game. So Eric comes over. I walk away, and Eric's like, "It's over there. It's right in front of him." And
Yeah,
we're
and
like
then he
looking
turns
for
around
the
and walks
red
away.
spines, right, for
Yes.
the Genesis stuff, and it was not that,
blue.
was it?
It was blue.
That's right.
So I grab it out and I'm looking at it, and the guy says to me, he says, "You like aquatic games, huh?" And I was like, "No idea what this game is." So I'm like, "Yeah, it's fun. It's a cute game. I like it, blah, blah." I'm like, "Whatever. I don't know." So I said, "Yeah, I think I'm going to get it. I need to add it to my set." Just totally bullshitting this guy. And I pull my wallet out, no cash in my wallet. And I
Intentionally.
yes, intentionally. I put
Heather
the money,
made sure of that.
No, I put the I put the $15 in my pocket. So I'm checking, and at that point Mike is kind of veered away from me. And I pull my money out, I flip the 10, I count the ones. I'm like, I was like, I stood there for a minute. I said, "Hey man," I said, "I only got $15. Would you take 15?" And the guy starts looking around and laughing. And I'm still trying to play it off because I'm like, shit, I'm busted.
Yeah.
So I try to play it off, and I'm like, if 15's insult, I'm sorry, dude. I didn't mean to be rude. And he's like, "No, I have some other guy that keeps coming over and asking me." And I was like, "Oh." I was like, "Well, if you don't want to sell her 15, totally understand." Like, I'm trying to like slow play the guy. And then he just sits there and he goes, "Yeah, I'll give it to you for 15." Just said it. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, "Thanks." And he goes, "Yeah, the other guy was being kind of a dick."
Yeah.
So I get the game and I walk back over, and all the guys are standing there and they're like looking at me, wondering if I got it. I hold it up and they're like, "No way, you didn't get it." I said, yeah, I got it. And I tell Frank, I said, "Yeah, the guy said you were being a dick. That's why I wouldn't sell to you."
And apparently he said like he would be like, "Well, I'll just come back later then. Like
Yeah.
it will still be here." And it's like you don't. That wasn't whatever that approach was not working with our friend Alex. Alex was not having it. So yeah.
Mike told him it would have been funnier. He should have. Mike told Frank to walk back over and be like, "All right, I'll give you $20 for that."
After you've already bought it for 15, 5 minutes later, I said, "Go back over there and offer and give him the $20 for it now." But anyway, yeah.
So that was some of my my investments.
Yeah, it was important.
So-
Well, they're Frank's really.
Yeah, Frank.
You're just a proxy.
Yeah,
You're the buyer.
I was the mule.
Yeah, you're like the Morgan Stanley or Merrill Lynch there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're managing his portfolio.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's
But
good.
he got it. He was happy.
You bought low for him too. You got, 25% off.
I did.
That was a good deal.
That's how I roll.
So,
So what about you?
we had a fantastic time. We went to VGS, like in McCook. They put on a great show. Other than at the beginning, there was an alarm that would not turn off. And then unfortunately, one of the guys there had 2 of his games stolen. Chris Larson, I think is who it is. He had posted on Instagram, or not Instagram, on Facebook in like the high-end game room. It was like a Castlevania Bloodlines and then the X-Men game for Game Gear. It wasn't like super high-end expensive stuff, but he was pretty distraught. That was unfortunate. Like somebody took him right off of his table. I don't know if he was right across from us too.
And they were graded.
Yeah, and they were like in WADA cases, and so it was, that was unfortunate, but but other than that, it was a fantastic time. Sold a bunch of stuff. Got to hang out with Matteo. Got to hang out with John. The whole squad was there. Robbie, Kalen, like you said, Frank was there. Green Shell, John was there. Eric Vostel, who will be on the show at some point to discuss NHL '94. And so it was a lot of people. I don't want to name everybody. Well, I get to see people I don't ever get to see, other than at those things like Sam. And I got to meet Angelo, which is a buddy of Robbie's, and we'll talk about that in the collecting update.
Yes.
So, but that was the majority of my time. I will also say we are contractually obligated to discuss Tears of the Kingdom. So I defeated the game. Ganondorf has been thwarted. And you got some weird ass shit going on with your mic cable over there. So stop moving it. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, yes, I've defeated Tears of the Kingdom. Ganondorf has been thwarted. Spoiler alert, that's the guy you fight. So, so, yep. So that's pretty much it. You want to move on to, something else?
Yeah, we can do that. I got to stay away from touching, apparently, my microphone cord here.
Would you? It's time for a little collecting update. Should we let our friend go first?
Sure.
Chase, what do you got, buddy? What have you been buying? Have you been buying anything to consume, or have you just been buying things to invest? Because if that's the case, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But
Am I supposed to talk about things I'm buying to consume or invest? And I only have real answers for either of these.
consume and then invest will be
Consume?
later.
All right, nothing. Skip me. 'Cause
Very
I've been
good.
buying digital games for stupid people who buy games that aren't real things that you could physically resell for more money later. So forget that.
All right. Jay, would you buy anything? Oh, Sean was there and his crew too, by the way, Chefish.
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, which we obviously should have said, but go ahead, Jay. What have
Yeah,
what have
as
you
many
been
times
buying?
yelled at me and Sean for talking about Clutch.
Fuck off with the clutch.
Well, it's a good band.
Yeah, no, they're not. Go ahead.
So I haven't really bought anything.
You got one thing. Didn't you get a new record a couple days ago?
I got an old record. It's not a new record.
Yeah.
I actually got the first OG press of Danzig,
That's true.
which is in amazingly good condition.
It's true.
Came from a person that handled it very well.
It's true.
And it was, ironically, there used to be an old record store that we loved here. No discount to Jerry. Jack's Record Stash is great. But Wyatt Earp's is the OG from this area.
Yep.
And that record actually came from Wyatt Earp Records.
Yep. In probably 1992.
Yeah, pretty exciting.
1991, something like that.
Pretty
So,
exciting.
yep. So, fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool.
I
Excellent
guess I did.
acquisition.
I've gotten back onto the Super Nintendo stuff. I did get a couple
You-
games.
It's true.
I got a couple from you. What did I get from you? I got Illusion of Gaia.
Illusion of Gaia, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest.
Yes, Mystic Quest, and
I think those were the two. And then there were some others that
there's
like
a couple other randos.
Sunset Riders, Super Metroid.
Yeah, a couple loose cards.
One other one I can't remember.
If anybody out there in the world has any dust covers for Super Nintendo games and is just wanting to get rid of them, I will let me know. I will send you my address.
I like how you cut yourself off from saying I will buy them, and then you're like, I'm not buying dust covers.
He's got you there.
Hey, I'm working on this investment thing here.
Yeah. Well,
Giving away money isn't going to help my investment.
no, it's not.
That's why we got you on tonight, Chase.
Yep. Yeah, we'll get there. So,
All right, everybody, buckle up. Mr. Pitts,
what?
did you get anything?
What do you mean?
Any pickups? You collect anything? Any new collecting updates for us?
As a matter of fact, I did.
No shit.
I'll make it quick because it's not really that much. It's really not.
Okay.
Okay, so let me pull this stuff over here.
I like how he says there's not really that much. Let me pull this stuff over here.
Hey, man, it's not that much.
Mike
All right.
getting ready to show off his stuff looks like an 8-year-old boy at Christmas. Like, I get to show off my stuff. I'm so excited, Mom.
Every 2 weeks.
It's why I do the show.
Touche, salesman, touche.
Well, I mean, what's the point of having a huge dong if you can't whip it out on the table every 2 weeks and show everybody? I'll follow that
it's
up
true.
with.
If you get something cool, you've got to just brag about it constantly so people know it exists and you have it. And then the more people hear about something existing, they'll be like, "What is that cool? I keep hearing about this thing existing." That's the strategy.
Yes,
That's how you manipulate the market.
You're
You just
constantly
keep
promoting
talking about
awareness.
Some stupid variant until it becomes a thing.
Yes, exactly. So then basically I'll start with, I got the empty box for WrestleMania Steel Cage Challenge for the NES from Robbie. I also got an empty box for
That's an LJN
WWF
box.
King of the Ring. I'm well aware it's an LJN box. WWF King of the Ring.
Ooh, it's got the Mountie on the cover. Little shout out for Tiger Wolf there.
Yeah, yeah.
Little Canadian love.
Little King of the Ring here as well. Look, that's Lex Luger, Hulk Hogan, some greasy guy. I don't know who that is.
Ironically, that's the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, right? there.
I know he's in big trouble, by the way.
Is he?
DiBiase's got some litigation. He's part of that whole Brett Favre Mississippi public funds thing. So,
Oh.
yeah, it's not good. Got a complete in box, Super Pitfall for the NES. One of the best platforms to collect and invest in. My
You
opinion.
need to get it graded.
My opinion. We'll see. I might. We'll just, we'll see. Space
Mike, you
Jam.
got a real pile of dog shit games here.
Space Jam for hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. So I got Space Jam. It's for Sega Saturn. It's got Michael.
okay, never mind now.
It's got Michael Jordan on the cover and Bugs Bunny. Those are things people know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I got that. Golden Axe for the Sega Genesis. Nobody cares about that because it's Sega Genesis, right? But I do. So got that. Got this from our friend Robbie as well. All that stuff except for Space Jam came from Robbie.
Oh.
I bought Space Jam from a guy named Keith, who I also bought this from. One of the cornerstones of my collection. Game Sounds. The complete in-box Game Sounds for the NES. It's the personal sound system for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And I'll read the back. Quote, now you'll be able to hear Mario squash the Goombas, but no one else will. Keep the peace in your home with Game Sounds. That's Game Players Magazine. That's a quote directly from them about this contraption that hooks to the side of your NES and allows you to listen to games and nobody else will be able to hear them. So yeah, got that. It was brought to you by Lightwave Technologies. That's I get that sent to VGA. I think they're the only ones that have a holder for that right now. So
Wasn't AT Games?
that game, it was not at Games, no. And then the most important thing I bought, I actually traded for. I traded Angelo for this, Robbie's buddy. We swung a deal. I got a complete in box stack up.
You did.
I was very happy to get that. So it looks as if it's never been used, which would not surprise me. The box itself is not fantastic, but the hang tab is complete in the back. I think that's what's most important and what any sophisticated investor would care about. So thank God.
You got a match sticker on that stack up?
There's no sticker on it.
Okay, so it sounds like you need to get another stack up. Sorry
Yeah.
to tell you.
Well, to be fair, I kind of need, what do you need? 3? You can't just, is it 3? You know better than I do.
3 what? Variants? I have no idea. Stack up variants? What are you talking
Okay,
Let
well,
me consult the WADA black box spreadsheet.
yeah, if you would, because this is, I mean, I don't know how late of a run there is for stack up, but anyway, it's nice. So back off. Anyway, so yeah, I swung a deal
I just
with.
need to put you down after showing me that stream of NES garbage. Okay, Mike?
Yeah, it's fair.
I'm telling you, your awesome stuff sucks. It actually sucks. Even though all those like games, like the WWF games, I'm sure those are all like super condition dependent. Because I know the cartridges were garbage on those. I just got to put you down here.
It's fine.
No,
I
love
deserve it.
Stack Up's awesome.
I bought them from Robbie, so you know they were garbage. So anyway, no, stack up is awesome. So I was actually super excited to get that. Like that was kind of a big deal for me. That was one I've wanted to get for a long time. And I was actually able to swing a deal out of my booth with Angelo I did mostly trade and a little bit of cash to be able to get it, which was fantastic. So let's see here. There's a matte gloss, no sticker, NES GP and NES PXX code. This is the NES PXX code, BL. It's NES PBL. So this is the last run. It's like the promotional version of Stack Up, basically, is what I'm getting from the Fleo here.
Better than no stack up.
Oh, wait. So is that the one that came in the deluxe set, in that 3-in-1 deluxe set? Because isn't that like a cool version of Stack Up then? I'm also going to wait for the Fleo's answer here because I don't know.
That's a fantastic question, and that's what I was curious about myself. When I just read that, I thought that could be it, because it certainly isn't going to be one of the earlier ones, and I would think that would be one of the later. So anyway, we'll wait for his answer there and see what he has to say. But I think so, yeah, he says. Cool. Well, then there you go. It is awesome.
There you go.
So suck it.
Look
Yeah.
at you.
Yeah, I know. like I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
You did get one other thing.
What did I get? Oh, yeah. We made a trip to Merrillville, Indiana on the way back home after VGS and stopped at the Albanese Candy Factory to pick up about 10 pounds worth of gummy bears.
How about 20?
No, it was about 10.
Wasn't that big bag like 10 pounds?
No, I don't think
Was
so.
that 5 pounds?
It was probably 5 is my guess.
Okay.
So we also, yeah, there were all kinds of hijinks that ensued during the thing, but we'll talk about that another time. I don't want to bother anybody. So, all right. So I think we need to move to the meat of the show here, right? I think what it's time to do is I see this kind of, I want to have an open discussion with Chase about some of the things that he said, but some of the things that he's doing. And then I want to do a little bit of a comparative later too. So Chase, you ready for some questions, man? We have some of our own, and then we also have some from the viewers that we've filtered through because there were a number of them, and we had to kind of pare down because we can't be here for 6 hours, right? We all have lives and families. I mean, I don't, but the rest of you do, I'm sure. So anyway, are you ready to just field some questions here?
I'm ready for the Grail Nation, Mike.
Thank you. All right, so first question, what have you been focusing on recently?
Well, certainly not video games. Video games, the market is completely crashed for 2 years. Mike, Jay, do you know what's up? Pokemon cards are up. Have you seen Umbreon VMAX Alt Art Secret Rare from Evolving Skies? And excuse me if you don't understand any of the words I just said, because it's children's vernacular like TikTok or no cap. This is a Pokemon card that sells for $1,000, over $1,000 on eBay. Go check the sales right now in a PSA 10. It's from 2021.
Yeah,
It's not even 2 years old. There are over 7,000 graded. 7,000, not 7,000 cards graded. 7,000 PSA 10s. It is by far the most common grade. It's not some promotional thing. It wasn't some giveaway. You just pulled this shit from packs. There are tens of thousands of this fucking Pokemon card out there. And it sells for $1,000. And you think I'm going to go buy a sealed copy of Daydreamin' Davy for the NES and invest in that? Obviously not. I'm going to Target and I'm picking up packs of Pokemon cards because that is obviously the future.
I really have to agree with you here because A, where are you going to find a sealed copy of Daydreamin' Davy anymore? I mean, that whole market has been completely saturated, and those are all in the hands now of what I would say are somewhat intermediate to advanced collectors or investors. So I have to agree with you, like the burgeoning Pokemon market, especially modern, not just like, the first, the Gen 1 or any of that, whatever weird crap that kids call it, I don't even know. But the stuff that you can literally go to Meijer right now or any grocery store, Walmart, whoever it is, order it from Amazon, open the packs, send every card that you get to PSA. If you can do bulk, great, but maybe you want them to walk you through each grading. Who knows what kind of money you got to do it. But I think you're right. I think that the sooner you can get the most modern things graded, right, and get them back, that's when you can really start to see a return on your investment.
And you know what, Mike? When you buy those, first of all, you just buy them in the store. You just literally go to the store and buy them. You can't do that with a complete in-box NES game. Can't do that with a PlayStation 1 game.
Exactly.
You just go to the store and get this and get rich.
Yep.
And then you grade them. They don't get damaged in shipping because they're flat. They just fit in a bubble mailer. You could put like 20 of them in a bubble mailer and it's fine. It's so easy to grade them. They're so much cheaper to grade. It costs like $100 to grade a sealed game.
Have you ever tried to ship 20 NES games in the box?
Right?
I mean, it's gigantic.
They're gonna get damaged. Everything gets damaged in video games when you ship it around. These are all cardboard boxes.
Yep.
We're talking about big box PC games now. Like, those have stuff rattling around the box that doesn't have any padding inside it. So no matter what, when you ship those, they will get damaged.
Yep.
You ship it to yourself, it's gonna get a little damaged. You ship it to the grading company, it's gonna get a little damaged. You ship it back to yourself, it's gonna get a little damaged. No matter what, because the stuff is rattling inside the box. Doesn't happen with a Pokemon card.
Nope. They're infallible. I agree. So
also, I looked it up before the show. There are 12,000 or so graded NES sealed games from WATA versus 7,000 of this single modern Pokemon card.
And how much are they going for again in a PSA 10?
$1,000. It's just a Pokemon card.
And that's the Espeon VMAX.
It is
from
the Umbreon VMAX Alt Art Secret Rare from Evolving Skies.
From Evolving Skies. Okay.
I don't know what any of that means. I just know it
it doesn't matter if you know what it means.
Cool art. That's pretty much it.
I think what we've proven over the course of the past few years is it does not matter if you know what any of it means. It just matters as to whether you can make some money or not. That's the truth. And we'll get into it a little bit, but there might be information out there that you can't see, like without opening it. We know that doesn't count. So, all right. Before we move into that, one of the questions we were asked by Grail Nation over and over was,
I guess we should ask him, is he okay if we ask him some video game related questions?
well, this one's not video game related.
Okay, go ahead.
Shut up, record man.
Mother. No, this one's not video game related. Okay. But we got asked this a number of times by a number of different members of Grail Nation. What advice do you have around video game investing?
Video game. I mean, we're still investing in video games despite the Pokemon market. I mean, all right.
Look, Grail Nation wants to know. I mean, it was easily the most asked question.
The biggest thing to remember is that you have to buy the dumbest thing imaginable. So 2018, before all this started, if you were a game collector and you were like, I'm going to buy the coolest sealed games forever, you would have bought a sealed Cheetah Men 2, a KO Flying Squadron, a Stadium Events, and look what happened 5 years later. You're in the poorhouse. The bank foreclosed on you. It's over. Get in the soup line. Cheetah Men 2? What is that? Is that some kind of furry porn? If you bought
Possibly
John Madden Football, Clue Clue Land, and Tecmo Bowl, all of those have sold for $150,000 since 2018. So tell me, how does a Clue Clue Land sell for $150,000? Because either the good stuff matters, like Super Mario Brothers and all that, or the dumbass rare shit matters, like Stadium Events. And if you want to straddle the line, I guess I'll accept like Nintendo World Championships. But if you have the nicest sealed Clue Clue Land, who cares? And that sale wasn't even like a matte sticker, by the way, and multiple matte sticker sealed copies exist. It's so fucking dumb.
Now,
and because it is so dumb, someone made $148,000 profit on that copy of Clue Clue Land, and you people are sitting out here on your Wii U Breath of the Wild sealed copies thinking you're some kind of genius. So, main thing to remember, buy the dumbest thing. That's it.
All right, we're writing this down. Gold. Buy the dumbest thing.
If you're thinking about Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, it is too obvious. People already have them. You need to find something that is worthless, type it, and then get out. So, yeah, we're going to make specific recommendations. In 2000, Taco Bell came out with 4 PC games that they gave out with kids' meals. They come in these little, like, kids' meals baggies, and they're floppy disks. Invest in those. Why would those ever have value? They can't. That's stupid as hell, which is exactly why in 10 years, those games are going to be 20 grand.
So, my counterpoint to your Clue Clue Land argument is this. Is that not the first appearance of the rupee in The Legend of Zelda, one of the most investable properties from a video game perspective? Is that not?
No, it's not. Here you go back to real investing and you get into coin investing and you go to India and you get the first rupee that was ever made in India. I don't know what that is off the top of my head, but that's a much more sound investment because collecting currency is a real investment.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that Clue Clue Land sold for what? 150,000?
It was a little bit less than 150,000.
Okay,
like
but
140 something thousand.
But you could round it up. So that leads us to our next question. Okay, because it's, talking in these 6-figure type investing, situations. Another question. CGC graded issue 1 of Nintendo Power 9.8 recently sold on HA for $106,000. How do you see that affecting the graded video game magazine market?
Okay, first of all, you're saying graded video game magazine market like that's a real thing that people discuss, and like anyone who is not like a complete fucking shill has ever said in their life. Man, I hate Nintendo Power. Nintendo Power sucks. How is this going to affect the video game magazine market? I think there's probably a bunch of literal hoarders that got really excited about those sales because personally, I collect video games. Because you look at a video game and it feels like there's something of value there because you could play it. I mean, you're not going to play it. No one plays fucking video games, but you could play it. Whereas if you have stacks of magazines sitting around, like your family is really worried about you, John. John, come home. We need to clean up your house. Stop having all those magazines around. But now John has this ammunition like, oh, look, a magazine sold for $100,000. I'm telling you, all of these Game Pros one day, they're going to be worth something. Mom, they're going to be worth something. And the crazy part is, because it is super dumb, we're going back to being super dumb, he's probably right. John has Game Pros 3 through 17, and they're in 8.0 condition, and he's going to get them graded, and they'll probably sell for some money because nothing matters. And that's a key. Nothing matters.
Is my video camera on? Because I feel seen.
Oh, hey, John.
Oh,
I'm sorry,
John.
I wasn't
Hey.
talking about John.
We were talking about yeah,
you have a very common name.
yeah.
I talk to Joe sometimes as well, but I'm
Yeah.
not talking to that Joe.
Yeah, it's a different John. I think he's anyway, moving on. So okay, that answers that. So basically what you're saying is that sounds really stupid. Put as much of your money into it as you can because buying stupid things eventually equals profit.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. All right. I think I'm getting the trend here. I had my own ideas of what I felt was investing into video game IPs, properties, and the ephemera, but I'm starting to detect a trend here, and I understand it. So buying stupid things like, you know, PC games that were basically thrown into a Burger King Happy Meal, right? And then sit on them. And then you have to promote awareness, right? So you must always be promoting awareness of whatever it is that you're trying to shill. So you want to make sure that it's in the forefront, that people see it and that they know that it exists, right? And then it has to be stupid, right? It has to be something stupid like, you know, maybe at one point Nintendo would have done something like, you know, put a robot in their NES and then they're like, let's make some games to trick kids. They're stupid, right? And it was stupid. So okay, I think I got it. All right. So I want to move on. One of the videos that you did, okay, and I don't want to bring up too much of the past, but I know things evolve and markets change. The 7 golden rules of video game investing, okay? And I'm going to go over them. For people who don't know what they are, and I really wish I could put this up on the screen right now. It would be a lot more helpful. But anyway. So
well, if somebody's listening to us on the podcast,
yeah, I know. I get it.
they wouldn't be able to see it anyway. So
yeah, but they're poor. They're not investors. So if you can't afford the video, then like what are we doing here? But okay. So rule number 1, Japanese first prints don't count. Rule number 2, first prints cannot be common. Number 3, no arcade or computer games. Number 4, obscure information doesn't count. Number 5, information inside of a factory seal also doesn't count. Number 6, if you're not sure, pretend it doesn't exist. And number 7, if you find something out that nobody else knows, keep it to yourself. Okay. Those are the 7 ground rules that you kind of, those are the fundamentals of video game investing as I've ever known them. I think as anybody that has ever invested in video games knows. How do you feel that those rules have changed since you first shared them with Grail Nation?
Just because I know that LJN has a much wider audience than this video ever had. I want to clarify that if you're not sure, pretend it doesn't exist means if you don't know if a variant might have existed because it's kind of unclear, you don't have any information about it, just pretend it didn't and say you have the best thing. That's what that one means.
Okay.
But looking those 7 things over, yeah, I'll give a resounding fuck no, nothing has changed since 2020 or whenever that video came out. Japanese games still don't matter, and they were never sealed, or the ones that matter were never sealed. So they still don't matter. No one cares about date codes and PCBs. And collectively, as a community, we've all decided to come together and not share our knowledge in a centralized database. So you either have secret spreadsheets and friends who know things, or you suckle at the teat of the WADA publishing bits of information in their pop report. So yeah, we're still trying to keep information as secret as possible, and no one really knows anything, and everyone's really confused, which is great. That's what makes the video game market turn. Is some people having all the information and all the money and other people being confused and throwing money at heritage auctions. That's really how the video game market works when you think about it.
Okay.
But Mike, there is one exception that did concern me. There was a budget re-release port of Madden on PC that sold for $14,000 recently, which is a really, really big sale. I mean, that's in like the 0.01% of most expensive video games ever sold, probably. And it's probably in like the top 100 biggest PC sales of all time. Like, it would not surprise me if who's buying PC games for tens of thousands of dollars. Could be in the top 20 PC games.
Maybe John Romero, but I can't really think of anybody else.
Like, speaking of John Romero, yeah, like what can actually command a price like $14,000? I mean, a sealed Doom? Probably, but I don't think one has ever publicly sold for that much, and that's probably the most universally rare and desirable PC game. So Does this piece of shit budget version of Madden that doesn't even have a color manual, doesn't have the decoder wheels in it, does that matter? No, I think it was a grandpa sports guy who was on bath salts, but that was one exception that got me concerned.
Sorry, I just need to gather myself. I had a bit of a coughing fit there. Okay. All right. So what you're saying is, what you're saying is, I've got a sealed copy of NASCAR 2003 Big Box for the PC. It was obviously a budget title put out, that was available at Walgreens in their discount bin for 15 years. If I sit on this long enough, it could potentially become the next Madden because NASCAR?
I mean, you got to talk to some rednecks and see if you can get them to care about video games. I don't know. But what I have done is you look at that NASCAR game and try to figure out if it's actually the first appearance of someone. I don't know who Dale Earnhardt Jr. is, but you know what? I bet no one on earth has ever looked up the first appearance of Dale Earnhardt Jr. and whatever PC game is his first appearance you could probably get for $10. That would be a great thing to invest in right now.
It seems stupid enough. So, all right. You're right. Okay. All right.
Would you grade that then?
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to send it to VGA right now because nobody else grades PC games. But it's like 2008. It's your only option, Yeah. So,
okay.
At some point, nobody else will ever grade them. Actually, I think VGA will only be the only one ever, but that's not here nor there. Okay. Moving on. Quick question. Again, this one was brought up by a couple of Grail Nation. What are some of the biggest mistakes that you see unsophisticated collectors or investors make?
Well, people try to find the next big thing, which is a huge mistake. I see people going deep into Pokemon variants. They're looking at Japanese inserts and imprint codes on the cart, or there's people who are buying Poop Slinger on the PS4 as if they really believe that there's only 84 copies out there, and as if the PlayStation 4 set will ever be as prestigious as the fucking NES. The PlayStation 4 set? What are you guys? What the fuck are you talking about? All right. So maybe it goes without saying, but if you're spending thousands of dollars on a video game that doesn't say Nintendo on it, you're a fucking idiot. So there's only one thing that's going to matter in the future, and that is whatever Dennis Kahn and Get the Greg games tell us matters. So if you don't know who those people are, I mean, that's why my YouTube videos only have 300 views, because it's a very, very, very small hobby.
Yep.
The converse of that is criticizing people for buying dumb things. That's a mistake too. So you could just go to Best Buy right now. You're talking about Tears of the Kingdom.
Robbie Coleman.
Do you love that game?
Uh-oh. We got a phone
Really
call.
professional.
We got a phone call coming in here. Hold on one second. Let me I think we've got a caller here for you. Hold on. It's not a call-in show, but hello.
If it's Robbie, get the fuck out.
Hold on. Hello.
Hello?
Do that again. I'm sorry. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, who's speaking?
You don't know me, but I know you. And I have a question about retro video game investing.
Okay. Well, you're on with the Retro Gem Miner Chase Peridot right now and Lost Joystick Network. So if you, I guess, is that okay with you, Chase, if we take this question?
Oh, yeah, just interrupt my answer to a different question by taking a phone call from a guy I don't like. Yeah, perfect. Let's do it.
Great. All
How
right.
do you know that you don't like me if you don't know who I am?
Oh, who is this again?
I don't think it's important that we know.
Don't worry about that. We don't need to name names.
What's your question, caller?
What do you think about grading digital games?
What do I think about grading digital games? So, like, empty boxes that just have a code in it, that's the best investment there is because it's the dumbest thing there is. Do you know what the best thing to grade right now? So everyone is grading like all this Switch shit. Mike loves Tears of the Kingdom. He can go to Best Buy, grade Tears of the Kingdom, and get a VGA 95. But guess what? You know who's going to do that? 10,000 fucking people are going to do that. Do you know what no one's going to do? They're not going to go and pick up the digital download card from the Walmart, like little download wall. You get like that little gift card thing and fucking grade that. They made 10 billion of those. They literally throw them out when people don't activate them. But you know what? No one fucking saves them. So fuck the real game. Get the little digital download card. You get a VGA 100, I guarantee it's a pop one. No one on fucking earth is gonna have that. And it says Zelda and it says Nintendo. So what the fuck are you doing grading the real video game? This is what you should be doing. Grade the digital version of the video game. You're not gonna play it. It doesn't matter. Just get the rarest thing that says Zelda on it. You idiots. You idiots. Stop grading games. Grade the download cards. That's my answer to the question.
I'm going to tell you. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, caller.
Answer. Thank you. That's exactly what I was thinking. So it's good to hear some sage advice from my favorite investor.
Sure thing. Here's a point of order for you. I've been looking for a first print Minecraft download card for like 4 years now, man. They're not out there.
See?
I'm not gonna grade it, but damn, I want a first print Minecraft download card.
If you want it, that means more people want it, meaning I should invest in it. So thank you again.
And now that I've said it on this podcast, at least 6 other people are listening to this.
All right. Well, thank you, caller.
No problem.
All right. Have a fantastic day or afternoon or evening or wherever you are. So have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. All right. I don't know what that was about. I will tell you, I'd like to think of myself as a sophisticated investor and collector, and I will tell you, the night the Tears of the Kingdom was released, I did grab myself a download card and I stuffed that thing in my pocket, and I didn't buy it. You know what? Because those things are free. There's no cost associated with them. And they'll print more, but those will be second prints for suckers. If you get it the night the game comes out, that has to be the first print. So I'm just going to put that information out there. And anybody else who is smart enough to do that, great. If you go to GameStop right now and grab one, that is no longer a first print. I'm sorry, it doesn't count. So, I mean, am I right? I'm thinking, am I thinking straight here?
I don't mean to kind of screw you over. First of all, those little download cards, they do have variants, like the Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC cards. There's like multiple versions of that, and it. What are you doing? I'm talking here.
Somebody else was just trying to call. That was my dad. So we'll good. finish your rant, Chase. There are different variants of the download card.
Want the first print, but so I think what you should do, you should have bought that card instead of stealing it, which I totally approve of you stealing it because capitalism is the worst. But if you get the receipt with the code on it and it has the date, if it's like a midnight launch, I bet, I'm going to just say this right now, you have that midnight launch receipt of the download card, the closer your receipt is to midnight, the more expensive that card should be.
Well, let me ask you this. What if I have a receipt that
whoever got the code the earliest?
I wonder, is there a difference between the UPC on the back of the card and the
Unknown
UPC?
caller.
Oh, we have another call. Hold on one second. Yes, hello, caller.
Hi, I've got a question that I would really like to ask Mr. Peridot about.
Oh, sure. If you could, I mean, go right ahead. Like, apparently this is a call-in show now, so yeah. Chase, are you okay with another call-in question?
No, I hate this, but let's go.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, caller. Go ahead. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, do I call you Chase or do I call you Mr. Peridot?
Oh, both are just fine with me.
Okay, Chase, Mr. Peridot. Okay, so as someone who is dabbling in video game collecting, I've been looking at the PC Engine and the TurboGrafx 16, and I would really like to know your opinion on the outlook as a mature and sophisticated collectible.
Okay, what What did he say? What is a PC engine? What's a TurboGrafx? None of these don't even sound like real things.
So
is that like a PC? You're talking about like IBM PC games?
No,
because they're worthless.
These are real things. I have one here.
What are you holding up?
It's a game.
NEC TurboGrafx. That's not even a. Is that like a repro box?
I mean, according to this, it's legitimate, but it's WADA, so who's to know if it's right or not?
Yeah, WADA will just grade repros, so I think that's not even real. Whatever that TurboGrafx tailspin.
Yeah. So you have no answer for the question, is what you're saying?
No, my answer is obviously they're terrible things to invest in because I've never even heard of them, and I would know all the best investments.
Okay. All right.
Well, that's very sad. Thank you.
I'm trying to hold it together here. Okay. All right.
I don't even know what we were talking. We're talking about download cards or something. Yeah, download. Closer you get to midnight, the better your download card is. And you know what? That's a stupid. I literally just made that up on the spot. That's a stupid thing that should be a collectible. People should do that. And the fact that no one has ever thought of that until I just posited that right now. Anyone who has like a Breath of the Wild download card or whatever stupid big game on a download card, and they actually have one close to midnight, like you should list that on eBay for $10,000 and just be like, wow, that is a good idea. That is a great way to find like that is a great way to make something that is super common, stupid, and doesn't matter into like a super unique collectible, which is exactly what you need to be doing as an investor. And I've got a real story. This is a real story.
Go ahead.
I bought from Walmart one of these Breath of the Wild DLC cards, and I got the receipt for it because I got to keep the receipt together with the card. It's got the code on it, and my receipt was right at the end of the roll, so it prints out with that pink stripe on it to let the cashier know that like you got to change your receipt paper. And the first thought in my head was like, oh fuck, I just got a rare variant. I got the pink receipt.
It's true. How many of them out there will have that pink stripe?
Right? I bet I'm the only one. Man. Unless someone just goes to Walmart and just like rips a roll of receipt paper and prints their own. But you know what? That's the thing you risk. You just have to pretend everything's real. Don't worry about it.
It's okay. Very good.
That's what the sports card hobby does. Like half of all like signed memorabilia in sports is fake. Just like don't worry about that. It's Lou Gehrig. It's Babe Ruth. Whatever.
They were real guys. Just because the card's not real doesn't mean they aren't or weren't 100 years ago or whenever they played baseball or whatever they played. All right, let's move on if we can. Is that okay? You good? Want to pivot away from?
I mean, we're probably gonna get another call anyway. So.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if I'm not expecting any calls, so any more calls would also be unexpected. All right. In 2019, you said the 5 systems to collect for were the Wii U, the Virtual Boy, the Sega 32X, the Action Max. And then number 1 was the NES. Looking back, this was obviously sound advice. Is it finally time to sell, or do we hunker down for the long haul with these 5? And follow up to that, do you feel that list is still valid, or should we pivot away from that? Again, I know we're not talking about important things that are hard to get, like Espeon VMAX Pokemon cards in a 10. We're talking about video games, shit you can buy off the shelf, or you used to be able to 30 years ago. I don't know, whenever old people bought them. So, thoughts on that question?
All right. Well, my first response here is I'm gonna have to put PS4 as one of the best consoles to collect here, just to give the people who are buying Poop Slinger a chance to profit here. But beyond that, this is 2023, and I don't remember what an Action Max is actually. Let me look it up real quick. Oh man, okay, so this thing uses VHS tapes as games. So Action Max has to stay on the list because VHS tapes are the future, because VHS tapes are dumb as fuck. And you know what? I'm going to ignore your question and just go off on another better collecting category than video games right now.
I appreciate it.
Look at the movie collecting market. Mike J, probably Jay, because Jay buys music, meaning he buys dumb media that's not video games for some reason. So Jay's probably buying all sorts of laser discs and crap. But
I actually don't.
Objectively,
but go ahead.
Don't give me the shrug. If you objectively look at like what would be the best movie collectible to buy that's related to the movie, I would say you could buy on the low end ticket stubs, especially like release date ticket stubs, because that's actual trash. We're talking like download code cards here, stuff that people for the most part, didn't save. People saved them as like personal memorabilia. No one was saving a Star Wars ticket stub on release night as a collectible. 99.99 of them gone from the face of the earth. So it makes sense that the remaining ones would have value. And then on the high end, films. Films were distributed in 35mm film cans. These cans exist. You can collect feature films or even just trailers if you don't have space for entire feature films. Both of those naturally make a lot of sense. One's the real movie, one's a ticket to the real movie. But we have to collect the dumbest fucking thing, and that's why the Action Max is perfect, because there's only 5 Action Max games, and they came on VHS tapes. And VHS tapes were produced orders of magnitude more than stubs or films, or at least there's more of them out there. They're edited, they're cut down, they're abridged. Magnetic tape grows mold on it. They are objectively shit. They're horrible. They're just the worst movie thing ever. They are not the real thing, which is why VHS tapes are the future of movie collecting. So you should be buying a sealed Back to the Future 2 on VHS, which is why Action Max, the VHS game console, is going to have some real crossover appeal with the movie collectors.
Wow. This is not the kind of advice that you can get on any other podcast.
No.
Or any other live stream.
Chase, can I actually ask a question?
We should be charging people for this.
I did charge people for tickets to the show.
Oh. Okay, moving on. You had a question for Chase. Please.
Do. Chase, I have a question to kind of tie into that, your discussion about movies. What do you think?
What's up, Laserdisc man?
Well, what do you think about people that are collecting like video games that included movie tickets?
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Who would ever want a video game that included a movie ticket? Have you ever heard of that?
I know I haven't.
I understand the crossover appeal of buying an Action Max cassette because that's a real movie. But who's gonna? You didn't go to the box office to get that movie. That's super dumb. Anyone doing that is just completely throwing their money away.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like a complete waste of time and effort and money.
So if somebody's buying video games that include movie tickets, no, just don't do it.
It's 2023. If you're buying video games, you're already making a mistake with your money.
First of all,
Johnny IUT is a fucking idiot, is what we're getting at.
Okay.
Here. Thank you.
My follow-up question would be, what would a movie ticket do you any good now? It's not like you can go see the movie with it now. Why would you need it?
No. Just
It doesn't
ask.
It doesn't.
He started talking
Okay.
about movies.
No, okay, all right. I'm just, I don't even know. Are there still movie theaters?
I just buy the tickets.
Do people still go? Do people still go to movies? I don't even know. Okay.
Well, I guess with that, could you grade?
You know, we got this. We made up one collectible, which is buying DLC cards as close to midnight as you can get. I just got a second one because you just said who's buying tickets to movies or whatever. I was obviously talking about ticket stubs, the part of the ticket you get back. But now, what I think we should do, we should have kind of the sealed market for ticket stubs. You should go buy movie tickets and then not see the movie and have the full ticket.
Like an unripped
to sports games too.
It's not a stub
buy
then.
Super Bowl tickets and then don't fucking go. Grade the tickets.
Well, what about?
Well, people do
what
grade the tickets even if they win. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, do they not rip your Super Bowl ticket in half?
Not the one I have. Just the bottom of it was pulled off, if
no,
any.
Look at you. I went to the Super Bowl. What?
Yeah, I was trying to. That was a thinly veiled brag, but yeah.
What about collecting and grading?
Not mine.
If we stick to movies, what about collecting and grading digital movie tickets? You can buy tickets online.
I think
what the hell's a digital movie ticket?
You can buy tickets online. Like you can go to a theater and you can order them right on the website.
And then you just print them off. Like the QR codes are going
to. See, this is a real opportunity for the NFT market. So if you've got release night tickets to Oppenheimer, whatever the new summer blockbuster is, you can make a screenshot of your receipt, sell that as an NFT. It'll be a one of one because there's only one of your ticket.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's a one of one.
Some kind of value because it is by definition non-fungible.
So somebody asked in the chat if you could grade the email.
I've got I bought Minecraft very early and I still have my email and I'm wondering what to do with it. I'm going to make it an NFT. I'm going to print it out and frame it, but I'm going to do something with that email.
I think that's sound advice. I agree. I have some tickets to events that I attended that I only have the email for, and looking back, turning them into an NFT and thus having people purchase them as a one of one collectible for that event. Maybe you're a huge, I don't know, Bruce Springsteen fan or something, and you bought tickets and like there's somebody out there that wants that NFT of the Bruce Springsteen QR code to the show that they didn't even go to or that was nowhere even near where they lived, but they had to have it because they want all of them, and there's only one. So I could just see, as long as there's 2 people out there that want it, you got yourself a collectible, buddy. So, all right.
There's crossover appeal. You look at Eric Nairman, the dentist. His avatar is one of the crypto monkeys. You go into the Get the Greg Games Discord. There's people with the crypto punks and the crypto monkeys as their avatars. There's big crossover appeal. If we're talking about stupid ass speculative investments that are guaranteed to make all of us rich, I think NFT movie tickets make just as much sense as most of the other stuff we buy.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. So far, based on everything else I've seen over the past few years, it's right in line with it. So I agree. All right. Oh,
unknown caller.
We have another call.
Oh, okay.
All right, hold on. Let me answer this. Yeah, this is the Lost Joystick Network with the retro gem miner Chase Peridot on live. Can I help you?
Yeah, I have one more question for Mr. Peridot. So I was reconsidering my investment portfolio after his most recent advice, and I was starting to look at video game things that are stupid, like food and cans. So I've got some Mario cans that I might buy, but I wanted to know, do you think I should go with like the old winter Pepsi cans, Japanese soda cans, or perhaps the newer but more freshly designed SpaghettiO cans?
Okay. So I like this question. This is a good question. First of all, the Japanese stuff, just throw it out. That's never going to matter. Do you have, by any chance, the Mario and Donkey Kong energy drinks that were sold in the Nintendo store?
I'm considering what my next purchase should be. Is that something I should consider?
I think that would be great. I think SpaghettiOs have good meme appeal. I think all of this is great because food just naturally feels like a ticking time bomb. Maybe not soda, but you look at a can of food like SpaghettiOs. You look at that in 40 years, like you're just looking at that. You're like just wondering, like, I wonder what kind of black, gross, moldy, horrific nonsense is in there. But the fact that it's still sealed, people will look at it and be like, but it doesn't matter. VGA graded it in 85 plus, so that's still an amazing condition can of SpaghettiOs. Because you look at these other markets, you look at someone just bought a sealed 3DS for $10,000, and that 3DS has a battery that will one day expand and basically ruin the console. People buy sealed iPhones for tens of thousands of dollars. All those batteries are going to expand and crack the screen and do all sorts of nonsense. But they still sell for a ton of money, so people don't care, which is why I think a can of SpaghettiOs specifically, because you would think that that will eventually turn into black, moldy, gross worms and dust.
You know what? I hate to interrupt you, but Bird Dog Gaming makes an excellent point. Rule number 5 is information inside of a factory seal doesn't count. So if those SpaghettiOs are black and moldy and all fucked up and gross, it doesn't matter, right? All that matters is that you can look at that can and think about how fucked up they might be.
I think it's actually better that it's gross inside.
I agree.
Because I mean, people are spending the most money on stuff that's gonna be theoretically ruined, and those SpaghettiOs are already gonna theoretically be ruined. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, go grade that.
Does that answer your question, caller?
Yeah, and just one more thing, because there's the new Mario Oreos that just came out, and I believe there's 24 unique designs. Do you think I should open my Oreos and package each one individually to be graded, or do I leave the package of Oreos sealed as a mystery so we can just not consider what's inside and just assume I have all of them?
I know my thoughts. I'm going to let you. I'm going to let you answer, Chase.
I'm pretty sure keeping it sealed and imagining you have the best thing is the right way to go. That seems to be what the sealed market does most of the time.
Normally, I would agree with you.
What about sets? Don't people collect sets anymore?
What? Yeah, like boomers collect sets, and people who have like already sunk cost collect sets, but nobody real collects sets.
Well, that's very sad. Thank you.
I'm also very sorry, but this Mario Oreo thing feels like a real +1, because I remember people were selling Mew Oreos on eBay when the Pokemon Oreos came out, and apparently Mew was like the Chase Oreo. I fucking love the fact that there was a Chase Oreo, by the way, but I don't think it's gonna be as big of a hit the second time around.
Like the Chase Peridot Chase Oreo? That was a stupid joke. I'm going to take the counterpoint to your point on the caller's, I thought, interesting question. when you say to do the dumbest shit possible, right? Wouldn't the dumbest thing be to open the Oreos to make sure you had all 24? That's dumb, right? But it's not sealed anymore, so I can't figure out.
I can't refute that.
Okay. All right. I want to make sure because I'm trying to think about what the stupidest thing you could do, and that was pretty close.
So is either way a right answer then?
I think it's whichever agenda we choose. Whichever information that we want people to understand as fact and perpetuate and promote awareness of is the direction. But we'll talk about that offline. This is internal sophisticated stuff. There's a lot of nuance here. So, okay. So one last question before I get to the actual fan questions. We've got a couple of fans that have named fans here that we want to ask questions for. The last question I have is, what's more collectible? A rare US print or a common Japanese print that was released earlier?
This isn't even a question because Japan doesn't count, but
it's rule number one.
Print?
These people have not watched or listened to the 7 golden rules of video game investing. I specifically wanted to ask this question because it just goes to show what an unsophisticated collector might think when they get into the market, right? This is the kind of question that they might be like, this is a hard to find US print, of a specific game, probably a Mario game or Zelda or something people have fucking heard of, and not some common print that was released in another country that nobody's ever heard of or been to.
I don't understand because being rare and from the US are both positive traits and being common and from Japan are both negative traits. So how could the answer be anything but the rare US game?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I agree. All right.
And actually, to that point, even if there's other versions of that US game, and we're talking about Super Mario Brothers, if you don't have a matte sticker Super Mario Brothers, just quit the hobby. Like, what are you doing? If I went to the Wada Pop report, there's like 100 of them or something. So what are you doing if you don't have one? You think you're not in the top 100 best video game collectors? How much time do you spend on eBay, browsing stuff, thinking about video games, collecting video games, organizing your collection, typing stupid bullshit in spreadsheets, having a save search for some PS4 game no one's ever heard of because there's anime girls on the cover? Whatever you do in your spare time, you think you're like the greatest game collector there ever is. And you don't have a matte Mario, and there's like 100 of them? There's obviously way more than 100 of them. There's 100 graded copies of them.
Yeah,
you don't even have one of those? Go spend $10,000. What do you do? You're weak. You're weak with your stupid hang tab that's missing the sombrero Super Mario Brothers. Go get a real copy. And not a gloss sticker either. Bitch.
Wow, okay. I mean, you are definitely not pulling any punches tonight. And I think that's exactly what Grail Nation needed to hear. Because I think there's a lot of people out there that have gotten out of shape as it relates to their collection. They've kind of got to trim the fat and really start to focus on what's important. Like you said, maybe there's 100 of these matte sticker Marios floating around out there that are graded. There's probably at least 100 more that aren't, I would say, right? Go get one. I mean, let's grow up, right? Isn't it time to evolve? That's how tell me I'm wrong. Okay, I'm not wrong. Perfect. So
You're not wrong.
Yep. See, I knew it. All right.
We leave the boomers behind. All these people the Nintendo age people who went and formed video game stage so they could all cry about how they don't have a full Nintendo set, even though they've been collecting Nintendo for 15 years and we don't have the set yet while you're still hunting for a stadium events. What have you been doing for 15 years? We gotta leave those people behind. Get the Greg Games Discord and start buying sealed DS Pokemon games, man.
And cards.
And yeah, obviously Pokemon cards.
I know. I have to say it because
video games are the sideshow. But I told you when I came into this, I don't want to talk about investing in video games. I want to talk about investing in Pokemon cards, something real.
I appreciate you putting up with all of these questions from us and Grail Nation because I know a lot of them are centric to things that you're not necessarily hyped on from a market perspective. So that's thank you for tolerating us. So speaking of tolerating us, I'm going to move to some of the Grail Nation questions, and we have a few people from Grail Nation that have asked a question, and I'm gonna let you know they've kind of said that's cool that we tell you who they are. So the first one comes from the Paleo or the Filio or the Philo. Anyway. So
I thought it was PH Leo, like PhD.
It's Telf Leo. I don't know.
It's totally not his name, so it's totally cool that you guys are mispronouncing
it. It comes from Joe. And Joe says, Retro Gem Miner, that's you, by the way. What do we do in a post-pandemic, post-$1.5 million Super Mario 64 world, where Bitcoin is beginning to creep up, inflation is cooling down, yet game prices seem to be stagnating? Also, do GameStop prices trail behind good news, or is there some other mysterious forces at play? Wow.
Trailing behind good news, like what? You actually like looking at news and trying to plan things. But I think everyone who's listening to this podcast right now can hear that question for what it was. It said the word Bitcoin. So this is somehow just a subtle attempt to sell me on some crypto scam. So I don't think I'm going to be answering this question.
Perfect. All right. It's okay. And I'm reading in the chat, it's pronounced the fellatio. Okay, that makes sense because I couldn't.
Fleo.
Fleo. Oh no, the one below it.
Yeah, that's not right.
Okay,
it's Fleo.
It's Fleo.
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 Not fellatio.
Fleo.
Flea.
The philatelist.
Flea. Say flea. Flea.
No.
Flea.
You want to talk about stamps?
Oh.
No.
Flea.
Anyway, Tiger Wolf asks Chase, should I get my children WATA graded? Would it increase their value? That's an important question because that seems ridiculously stupid and ignorant. So,
and he's Canadian.
Well, yeah, that I don't want to really color the answer to the question. So
I'm sorry. I mean, he's from the U.S.
Don't.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because a person's net value increases over time. So you want to get them graded while you're paying the lowest premiums for insurance on them.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead, get your kids graded.
Perfect. All right.
By the way, WATA and CGC won't do that. You have to send them to VGA.
They've got but don't they have new cases? I was just going to say, WATA's got those new cases, so maybe they can fit kids in those now. I don't know.
I mean, it looks like kids shake them a lot the way that the inside inserts are always tilted and stuff. Where I see those new cases.
True.
Well, maybe
I don't know who's hanging out in the graded games world. I'm only in like one Discord now, but people always post their WATA cases and they're like, "Why is my WATA case fucked up? The stupid plastic insert's all fucked up." This dig at WATA brought to you by CGC.
Who, by the way, I get to hang out with Matt from CGC at VGS, and I'm sure he's going to love this podcast. So. Moving on. Jay, do you have a question for Chase here?
Actually, Tiger Wolf asked another question.
Very good.
So it says, Chase, who is your favorite member of the video game Sage form, and why is it the Fleo?
The Fleo is great. So Joe, his posts keep the prices on the good stuff down. So Nintendo Age was sort of the default Nintendo rarity database. If someone said something was like an R7 or an R9, they were probably referring to Nintendo Age and not like Digit Press. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. You're Gen Z. Just don't worry about it. They were forums. But Fleo is the only person who has a modern, up-to-date Nintendo rarity guide, even though no one gives a shit about Nintendo rarity anymore. Who cares how specifically rare Bubble Bobble Part 2 is? We're talking about Mario and Zelda now. Like, we don't care about this shit anymore. But because Joe is such a prominent member of the community and he does still care about this, it makes it look like it's a cool thing to still care about rarity. And so it probably makes people go after games like Gunneck and Cowboy Kid that who fucking cares? I don't know what Gunneck and Cowboy Kid are. They're just some games for boomers. So while he is drawing people away to games like that, I can go accumulate historic copies of things like MLBPA Baseball on the Super Nintendo, which is the first game to ever have the Atlanta Braves Tomahawk Chop theme song. And before going on, I would like to clarify that is both a true fact and it's advertised on the box. I've got 17 copies so far, Joe. Thank you.
Wow.
Hot take right there.
That's not even a hot take. That's just the truth.
Facts.
All right. You want to read the last one here?
Sure.
All right.
So it's from T-Dubs again.
Tiger Wolf.
Yeah, I know.
Coming in with a hat trick.
Yes. Speaking of sports.
Did this old man just say facts?
Yes.
Sorry, what was the question?
Yes. Chase, how do I get a frame-accurate, upscaled version of my FM7 games? Can you read the rest of that?
These Rogue games aren't high res enough for me, and I know you're an expert at the analog NT and stuff.
All right, so we're talking about FM7. So already the 6 people listening to the show, we've whittled it down to 0, or I guess 1, the person who asked the question here. But the answer is I don't know, because we're talking about an old Japanese computer, and these only run on like weird emulators that I find on weird websites that look like they're from 1995. So yeah. I don't know if you guys remember launching up Nesticle in like the late 90s, early 2000s. And like you load up Donkey Kong or Super Mario 3, and it's like it kind of feels like you're doing something wrong. It's like, oh man, I'm playing Nintendo games on my computer. This feels kind of good. This is like weird and stuff. I'm playing on like the keyboard with like the Z and the X buttons, but like whatever. Like it was janky, and it's like, oh man, I'm a hacker. This is cool. And now like you've got like whatever that thing is that looks like you're on a PS3 retro arch. And like everything, I've got 7 million games and everything is so fancy and it's all set up just how I want it. And, emulation sucks now. But then you go to Japanese PC emulating and it's just like it was in the early 2000s. Fucking, you're downloading sketchy .exe files from websites entirely in Japanese. You load it up, even though you're loading it up on Windows 11, it's still got like the frame around the window that looks like it's Windows 95. You're like, what is this program? Is this a virus? Is this gonna fuck up my computer? And then sometimes you can even get a game to work on them. So yeah, Japanese computer emulators are very exciting. No, I have no idea how to make them work. They're all ridiculous nonsense. Video game preservation is dead. No one's ever going to figure it out. Everyone who cares is going to die before anyone figures that out.
Yeah, I agree that we'll all be dead in dust before anybody figures it out. So, all right, I want to move away from the questions, okay? And I want to do a little bit of pocket analysis of my collection, okay? So I've got a couple of comparatives here, and I need your opinion on them, right? You're a sophisticated investor. You give out fantastic advice. You know, I want to take advantage of this opportunity and kind of ask you a couple of questions about what I have here and maybe what I should be focusing on. Is that okay? Is that a good use of our time, perhaps?
I don't know why you keep asking me if it's okay to ask me questions. I agreed to be on the show, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, okay, it's okay to ask me questions.
Okay, cool. All right, so I have a couple of sealed games here I want your opinion on. Let me pull them up here.
Yeah, I saw you brought out the Zelda Breath of the Wild on Wii U, you fucking idiot.
No, I didn't. Anyway.
What do we got?
All right.
Oh, do I see some VHS tape? Whoa, is that some secret for later?
No, what? No. I'm just trying to stay on top of the investing trends. Pokemon VHS. Hopefully there's a ticket stub in there now, I guess. It's got the proof of purchase still. Okay, moving on. So I got a couple of sealed games here I need your advice on. Thinking about sending them in. First of all, if you had a sealed game nowadays, what grading service would you send it into? I mean, which one do you have the in with where you feel like you're going to get preferential treatment from, not only maybe in the grade, but in expediting that graded item and getting it back fast enough to be able to exploit the market while other suckers have to wait? So
suckers, those are Poindexters.
You guys are influencers now because you got a podcast that at least a dozen people listen to
now.
In the world of collecting video games, that's like by far a top 10 podcast.
Yeah.
So what you just need to do, you just need to reach out to the CEOs of these companies and be like, hey, yo, can I get a discount code for my show? But also like, hey,
but use it.
Can I send you this copy of Super Pitfall that's a 6.5 and maybe gets upgraded to an 8.0 A plus?
This is exactly what I'm talking about.
It's super easy, and I've been doing that with Dennis and Matt McClellan and whoever the fuck owns VGA. No one knows. Forever. That's what I've been doing the whole time.
Okay, I do have one more listener question, and
I might have to clarify that that's a joke because like these are big companies that like sue people. So like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, they can sue us all they want. We don't have anything except all these riches behind me, but they can't have those because those are assets, not money. So they can't have them.
Me if no one
That's not how it works.
Show.
All right, so I got a couple things here. I got a sealed copy of Castlevania Chronicles for the PS1. Everyone knows this is the best Castlevania game for the PS1, right? Best game, great console, legendary console, world-changing, changed the landscape of video games. And on the other hand, I have Mortal Kombat 2 for the Sega Saturn.
Is that real? Did Mortal Kombat 2 actually come out on the Sega Saturn? I don't believe you.
It is real, and it is sealed. and it is the worst Mortal Kombat game that came out on the Sega Saturn, which would be the worst alternative to the PS1 at the time. So I think I know the answer to this based on what we've discussed thus far, but I want your opinion on which of these two games would be more likely to, like, which one should I invest in? Which one of these would you feel would be the best long-term and short-term investment? I mean, both real games.
All right, Mike, first of all, I do like that you're pumping your own sealed game investments here by putting them up against each other, meaning one wins no matter what. This is some great market manipulation.
Thank you. Thank you. Learn from the best.
And second, if everyone could just kind of tune out right now, I just need to talk to Mike one-on-one real quick.
I'm going to mute Jay.
Put aside
I'm going to mute Jay.
the 7 golden rules right now.
Okay.
And we're going to have some real talk. So,
all right.
Number 3, arcade and computer games don't matter, Mike. That's some bullshit. So,
okay.
I think you and me both know that people who don't own real arcade machines are the fucking poors. And do you know what would be really cool? Owning a real Mortal Kombat 2 arcade machine. Because fucking consoles, the console version, it's some fucking children's bullshit. So you should own the real arcade machine of Mortal Kombat 2. And whatever that other game is, Vania Castle, you could send that one in to be graded.
Okay.
But throw the other Mortal Kombat out, please.
Okay, I'll throw this in the garbage. All right, so I'm going to put that in the trash. I just did. And then I'll send this one in. And so before we let everybody else back in to listen, I completely agree with you. Okay, so no surprise, you and I are on the same page here. We generally are. So, all right, I'm going to let the audience back in real quick.
Do you have a Mortal Kombat 2 or do you only have a Mortal Kombat 3?
I have both.
Okay, good. Making sure. I was just making sure I remembered that correctly.
I like how you were helping me shill the things that I have while I tried to, like you said, you take the comparative one against the other, you can't lose, right? And then you kind of came in and said, not only does that suck, but this version that I think you also have is fantastic. And I'm like, wow, you read my mind. So awesome. Okay, good. I'm feeling good.
I'm pretty sure this kind of circle jerking is just what happens on Clubhouse. As someone who has never been in any Clubhouse thread, I just imagine that it's just a bunch of circle jerking pumping up your shit.
Yeah, I think that's right. All right. Well, let's see here. So I got one more. Go ahead.
Did I miss anything?
No.
What happened?
Nothing.
You muted me. I didn't know what was going on.
No, I didn't.
Oh, you're back, old man? Bet.
I am.
Anyway, I have another pocket analysis of 2 games. I'm just going to pick a couple off the shelf arbitrarily. So let's just say these 2 right here. I'm not looking. Let's say Pitfall 2. What's this one right by it? Pitfall. Okay. Now, here we have 2 fantastic specimens. I think you can't lose here, right? You've got don't move that too far away from me. I need to read it. I don't know what it is. So the Pitfall 2, I'll start with Pitfall 2 because that makes the least amount of sense. Pitfall 2, 9.4, A++, sealed, 1984 brown box, notch lid, no country with UPC. Okay? Now, compare that to this 7.5 CIB 1982 dark green notch lid printed in USA, no UPC, Activision 1982, no country, dark green label cart in 1982 printed in USA, AX 01803 manual. I understand.
Oh, that version? Okay.
Yeah, you know that version. I mean, when you look at these 2 games, put them back up there so you can look at them. Come on. When you look at these 2 games, long term, if I were to sell one of these now and hold on to one of them for the long haul, what direction do you think I should go?
Oh, well, I mean, honestly, you should sell both because everyone who cares about Atari is going to be dead in 10 years tops.
I knew it. This was a trick question, and you passed. I knew it. All these Atari games, by the way, guys, are for sale. Okay, so if you're interested, there's a plethora of them here. I have a couple in television. Those people will probably die sooner because they've had terrible lives anyway if they want to collect in television games. So, yeah, no, I completely agree. I wasn't trying to trick you. I was just trying to validate what I thought, and I wanted you to organically perpetuate it out into the market. That's what I was trying to do, and I think we did that. All right.
See, but there is a problem. It would be super dumb to buy any Atari game because who cares? And one is complete in box, which is the Pitfall. The other is Pitfall 2, which is super common sealed, which alone, again, 2 more dumb reasons to buy a game. So you just kind of keep just stacking them up. Like Pitfall 2 is kind of important, but it's not as important as Pitfall. So it would be a little bit dumber to buy Pitfall 2 as well. So that's maybe a favor in Pitfall 2's direction.
But Pitfall 2 was developed by David Crane.
What, Pitfall was developed by David Crane.
No, that's not right. Hold on, let me read this here. It doesn't say anything about it. Oh,
box.
Conceived and designed by David Crane.
Oh no.
We'll have to edit this.
Isn't that
Okay.
That's a different. That's a David Crane, not Dave Crane. Dave Crane did Pitfall 2.
All right. Okay, I
Anyway, just throw
retract.
these out. What are you doing? We got
Yeah,
10
we'll have to
people
take this
listen to
out.
the
I don't
audio
want anybody to have
podcast.
heard
What are
any
you
of
doing?
this. Okay, all right. Disregard that. That's not relevant. Obviously, these are the types of things that I want to pretend don't exist. This is rule 6. I got it. All right, cool. All right. Oh, phew. Dodge that bullet. All right.
We do have a couple more questions that dropped into the chat.
Oh yeah,
You
we
wanna
have
use those.
we have a couple of questions that have dropped into the chat. If you don't mind answering those, while but we're gonna wrap up here soon. I know your time is important and your time is money with you. I do not want to hold you up too long, but
No, it's fine. I've been browsing eBay the entire time we've been on this podcast.
yeah, I can tell you've been barely listening. So, Jay, if you want to go ahead and hit him up with one of those questions.
Yeah, one of them was actually from Clearvis.
Oh, okay, very good.
And Clearvis actually asked earlier, what is cooler, an NFR cartridge or a Japanese sample cartridge?
Hmm.
So not for resale or Japanese sample cartridge?
I mean, these both sound pretty bad. So an NFR, you would imagine, is in some kind of bundle, like a console bundle in America. So it's not the cool thing to have. And then the Japanese sample cartridge is Japanese. So the real answer is save your money, because there are those stupid collectors, I'm talking about Reddit game collecting, who just sees anything with you could put a star flash on a cartridge and just say, this is cool, and it'll be like in that 90s font, it just says radical, and they'll spend double the money on it.
Oh.
So let those people buy that kind of crap, and
He's
you shouldn't
right.
either.
He's right. It's true.
Good. The other question we had was from Retro Game Enthusiast, or Retro GE. I believe he works in the electric
he's
business.
Really cribbing on my name, huh?
Yeah.
That's a joke for old people.
He asks, he says he has 2 copies of Magmax sealed and 1 sealed copy of Trog. And he wants to know, when can he retire?
Were these both LJN episodes? Was there a Magmax episode, or was that a joke that I'm misremembering?
Nope.
Nope, we didn't do a Magmax.
We've never done Magmax, and we've never done Trog.
Might have to do both now.
No, I don't think we'll be doing that.
I don't even know how to respond. Who even thinks about these games? Like, I know these games. Magmax is a terrible, boring shooter that never ends. So I think I'm going to go with Trog. You know what? I'm just going to look at the Wada Pop report, and I'm going to recommend whatever.
That's what I would do. I think I would look and see which one there's less of sealed, and then probably pump that one, as long as I have them.
Well, his true question was that he had 2 sealed copies of Magmax and 1 sealed copy of Trog, and he wanted to know when he could retire.
I think we're trying to determine that based on the number in the pop report.
Okay.
Is that right?
You look at how many video games you have. You're never going to get through your backlog, because you don't even play your games to begin with. So just retire right now and start grinding through it. Like, you can see Robbie do it. Robbie's always playing stupid bullshit games that no one likes, and then he pretends to even like them, and that's how he keeps himself happy, even though he's, sitting unemployed just playing Nintendo games like it's 1987. So I mean, you can retire right now. You don't need money to be happy. You just need to pretend that you like old video games for attention on the internet, like Robbie does.
No, I couldn't have said it better myself.
There's fewer copies of Trog, so make sure you keep that one in nice condition.
Okay, yeah, Trog is the answer.
But
So,
there's 9.8s.
so yeah, and no, now we have another question. Speaking of Robbie, he's asked, when should I invest in Bad Dudes? I mean, it's got the meme. It's got the meme.
Mike,
Yeah,
you've got an arcade cabinet of Bad Dudes, right?
yeah, I do. I have one.
Fuck yeah, you should invest in Bad Dudes. Bad Dudes is an all-time classic. Cooperative, multiplayer, one-hit kills to just punch through everyone. Yeah, Everyone loves Bad Dude. It's a meme. Hey, let's go for a burger. Oh man, President Ronnie. Yeah, definitely invest in Bad Dudes.
To me,
all-time classic meme, cultural impact.
Yeah, I don't know if there's been a video game that's had more cultural impact than Bad Dudes.
What about Two Crude Dudes?
Nope. I mean, is there a poster of 2 crude dudes on the wall on this set of this live stream? I don't see one.
Sorry,
Do you?
I might be showing my ignorance here. I don't know if 2 Crude Dudes was actually like an arcade game. I imagine it probably was, but it was a Sega Genesis game, so it by default doesn't matter.
He's got you there. Yeah. See, and that was on the NES and in arcades.
Are you sure? Like, Chase, wouldn't Genesis be a great thing to get into since it's stupid?
You look like you'd be more into Yes or maybe King Crimson. We had 3 people who understood the joke to the record man here. Apparently not even the record man reacted to it.
I got it.
I said let us in call in.
Okay. All right. What do we have anything else left? Anything else we need to, I mean, let me ask you this. I mean, we've asked you questions. Do you have any questions for us?
Why are you investing in video games?
You said it was good.
Wait, did I? Oh no. How do I take this back? No, guys, I just want you to be successful out there, and you've got to roll with the punches and realize that everything you've purchased is wrong. That's what everyone did in 2019, 2020. Everyone thought they were buying the cool Bubble Bath Babes and Caltron 6-in-1, and they were all wrong. And you need to reassess now and realize that those were only cool for 10 years, and now Pokemon is obviously going to be cool forever because nothing ever changes in the tastes of modern collectibles.
Yeah, no, I agree. Nothing ever seems to divert. Let's see. I'm trying to make sure we don't have any questions that we've missed. Valdor asks, what I want to know is, why are all your games only $4? It doesn't seem like there's been much of appreciation and value on those. I'm gonna let Jay answer that question, actually, because I think that's more of a Jay question. Is it okay, Chase?
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Jay?
I go with $4 because I think that's a sweet spot.
Yeah. Okay.
For games.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because that's really going to get people really getting after it and wanting to fight over it.
The way I see it, I have to agree here. Even like a hobo can get together like $4, right? So like you might have like 2 hobos fighting over, a copy of Shining in the Darkness CIB for the Genesis that's say 7.5 or something. Yeah. For $4, you could probably, you got at least 2 people who are interested.
You have a very valid point there. How do you think bum fights got on the map?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. Very good. All right.
I don't know the last time that you did an update on this, but Shining in the Darkness CIB for the Sega Genesis, still just a pop 2. Only 2 copies on Earth of that game. That's pretty nuts.
That is. And I guess my question would be, what's the highest graded one?
It is a 7.5. Do you have that? Is that yours?
It's right there. Jay, bring that up here. Give me that. Look at that. Right there.
If you have the 7.0, it's literally the worst copy on planet Earth.
That's the garbage.
It better be the 7.5.
I don't buy garbage. I only buy the best CIB graded Genesis games, and this is a classic example of that. This is the one to own. If you're going to have a copy of Shining in the Darkness complete in box graded by WADA, it's right there. And I'm going to tell you,
you're bringing up all this garbage, this stack up, this tailspin from a fake console that doesn't even exist. And you have the world's best copy of a game that has ever existed, and you're not even pumping that.
And the funniest part is you would definitely save on shipping because it's lighter than normal, because from what I can see, there are no inserts whatsoever. It is literally just box, cart, manual. No concerns about those things banging around, causing issues. So if you ever had to have this thing regraded by like maybe a better company comes along that does better grading, that would maybe give it an 8.0 if I knew them better, then you don't have to worry about those things like scuffing each other up, or like, you know how it is when you got 2 pieces of paper rub on each other, and the next thing you know, your black box manuals are all fucked. You don't have to worry about that with this because there's none of that in there. So that's your complete in box game. Manual. See? Okay. And then, again, sometimes we're talking to unsophisticated collectors and investors. So when we talk about CIB, I probably should take a step back. The C is for the cart. The I is for the instructions, and the B is for the box. And what I've also found out is sometimes the cart can mean a disc. So hand me that copy of Dragon Warrior real quick, okay? Got another CIB graded game over here. It's an NES game, so it's good. It's not like a Genesis thing. It's not Sega. And on the back of this, I believe it says the disc is a 7.5. So yeah, the disc inside of this Dragon Warrior, it's a first print, so don't have to worry about that. It's HP 1, okay? No worries. 1 HP copy. I don't want anybody to think that I'm out here collecting, 2 HP trash or 7.0 Shining in the Darknesses. But this is, sometimes they're discs too. They're not just carts. So the C can be a D. So it could be a DIB instead of a CIB, like a SIB. I just want to make sure that people understand all this stuff because it's complicated.
You guys are really bonding. You and Chase are really coming in there.
It really, this kind of knowledge means a lot coming from you because I think just at a glance of the stream right now, we could tell that we're getting information from a really big time game collector. Yeah. Like there's at least 20 graded games on the screen and we're talking hundreds of dollars in grading fees alone, let alone the gems contained within some of these. I think I see Asteroids back there.
Yes.
I think my grandpa played Asteroids, so it must be a good game if they were playing it back in the 40s.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, that is one of those games that came out before electricity was invented. Like you could
incredible.
Yeah, Leo
talks about those
and
a lot.
And there it is right there. So, yep. No, you're absolutely right. And thank you. I appreciate you recognizing that. So that's important to me. So
excellent, Mike. Move on the show now.
All right. Yes. Moving on. I'm sorry. I had a moment there. So I think that's all the questions we have, unless somebody else winds up, wanting to call in, or if there's, perhaps like another question that pops up in the chat, while we wait for that, just, who knows, where can people find you right now?
What? They can't find me. I deleted everything. Actually, the default Gen Instagram account, default JEN, I'm pretty sure that still exists. You could totally hit me up on the Matrix Network or the Collector's Quest Discord, which is potentially also the LJN Discord, which is a strange thing that exists because the listenership is like, if you put a Venn diagram, it's a circle.
It's 100% overlap. I agree. Yes. Yeah. I think they're all here tonight too, just to kind of talk to you, wish you a happy birthday, and get what I think is sound advice on investing in, Espeon VMAX cards.
Yes, exactly. And sealed Rocky VHS tapes.
Yep. No,
this is the stuff you got to be thinking of. You got to broaden your horizons. If you just think about one thing, if all you're thinking about is, oh man, The Legend of Zelda on NES. Oh, should I spend $700,000 on a copy of that? I don't know. You're just going to get analysis paralysis on whether you should do it when you could be out there, investing in graded coffee grinders
or CDs. There's a market now for graded CDs. I understand. Music CDs.
Jay, are you investing in CDs?
No, I got rid of all my CDs.
Yeah, I have all of them.
CDs nuts.
You know why? Because I'm a Poindexter. That's why. I knew. I can see that burgeoning market ready to explode. Jay was ready to dump his CDs, and I said, you know what? Send them over to Mike. I'll take them, and I'll retire off those. So people can't.
Clearus does have a point. Sealed cassettes is the way. Genuinely, people are grading sealed cassettes now.
Yep.
And I don't know how to even tackle a market like that because that cassettes are a weird hipster thing, and there's been reprints of cassettes. How do you know you have a 1982 copy of some Nirvana demo tape versus something that was made in 2003? I don't know, man. Cassette seems hard. I think we've really got to trust the grading companies here, and that's why we only use the really reputable cassette grading companies like Investment Grading Services.
Yeah, IGS, the best one. Yeah, no, I know the one that's run out of
stencil font as their logo, and their corporate office was a guy's house in California for a long time.
Correct. Yeah, but look, you've got to start somewhere. Okay, you can't start like the Intellivision Amico. Okay, you've got to start. Sometimes you got to start in the
Robbie Coleman.
Oh, we got one last call. Let me answer this. Hold on one second. Yes, caller, do you have a question for the Retro Gem Miner?
Hi, yeah, I was
wondering if you have Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis.
Okay.
Yeah, the Sega Genesis. What about it?
I was wondering if you had Mortal Kombat because I'm reading the Electronic Gaming Monthly magazine here, and it says that it's out now, but I don't know what now means, so you're going to have to tell me if you have it or not.
Now, hold on. What year is it? Which issue of EGM are you reading right now?
I don't know. What year is this? Where are we?
Is
Who
that
am I?
EGM number 1? I'm going to need you to stay on the line here, and I'm going to get your contact info. I'm going to send you a free copy of Mortal Kombat. I'm just going to need you to keep that magazine really nice. Keep it like pressed between 2 textbooks. If you send me that magazine, I'll send you a copy of Mortal Kombat. How about that?
You got yourself a deal, partner.
Yes, this is what, Mike, this is what I'm telling you. You got to have the hustle grind set. You got to find these grandmas and take their shit. When I'm going to a flea market, I'm not there to find an okay deal on something. I'm there to ruin people's lives. EGM number 1 graded. We're talking a $50,000 book tomorrow.
Wait a minute. This isn't software, etc.
I'm not talking to you. Just ignore everything I just said. Send me that magazine.
Yeah, caller, we're gonna
Okay, just give me your address and we'll go from there. Thanks, I appreciate it. Bye now.
Yeah, we'll get your information offline. All right, thank you. Excellent. Yeah, no, I agree. Robbing grandmas, that's how you get rich in the game, man. Like you said, you got to stay on the grind. You know, nose to the grind. And, you know, if there's a grandma out there who doesn't know that she's got a nice 9.8 EGM number 1, and you can trade her a dirt common Mortal Kombat for the Sega Genesis, it probably isn't more than $8 loose, because some stupid grandma would be like, you know what? Loose Mortal Kombat for the Sega Genesis, how could I lose? Here's this shitty old rag I used to, you know, dust my ass with. You know, you're like, you stupid son of a bitch. You know, so yeah, no, it's great. That's you know, again, we're just on the same wavelength here. You know, just hustling grandmas. So, all right. So
my only regret is that I couldn't send him over the Super Nintendo copy, which is truly for stupid kids.
Yeah, with
arcade copy seems like the one to have. I don't know why you have all these Mortal Kombat arcade cabinets, because Mortal Kombat sucks balls. But you know what? I'm hyping it for you.
Thank you. All right, great. I appreciate that, because it is important to me that, you know, I think you and I need to talk a little bit more offline and kind of come up with a strategy on how we can perpetuate these things into reality, right? We got a good core fundamental idea of where we want to go, but now it's about making that our presence known and promoting that awareness, right? Having the stack up right in front here so people can see it, holding it, showing it to people, and telling them how important it is, whether it's the stupidest fucking game that you basically keep your own score of on the honor system in the NES, which is nothing I'd ever heard of with any other NES game in my life. You want to talk about the dumbest things to invest in? Stack Up has got to be up there, because there's no score. You literally keep score yourself. You can cheat at Stack Up and nobody will ever know. Just like you can cheat grandmas out of those 9.8 EGMs.
Yeah, Mike, no one knows what you're talking about. You could be just making this up right now because no one's ever played Stack Up.
That's
so
right.
You're just like, you could just be saying stuff. Like Stack Up is the first NES game to have full frontal nudity. Did you know that? That's a pretty amazing reason to collect Stack Up. No one's gonna look that up. I'm
gonna put that in my notes here. That's something that we know that we need to keep to ourselves, because nobody else knows this. So full frontal.
I'll start drawing the art right now in Paint.
Okay. All right. I think
we all know that the first frontal nudity is on a Famicom game, not on an NES game.
Those are Japanese and they don't count. That is rule 1.
Penis?
It's that sumo wrestling game. Yeah, the Beach Boy was like 3 months later, so it doesn't count.
This is violating rule 1.
Oh, by the way, I've been Mike forgot to hang up on me 2 weeks ago, and I've just been like hanging out on the line since.
You're ringing up the phone bill, John.
Yeah. It's a long distance call to Kansas City.
I don't remember the name of that Famicom game John's talking about right now off the top of my head.
Nobody does. It's Famicom.
It's a Tecmo game. I can find it real quick.
Don't bother.
Whatever it is, but I'm so happy that I'm on a podcast where multiple people knew about a specific 8-bit penis as like the historic first Nintendo game with full frontal nudity.
Yeah, it's in Stack Up.
Right.
This is the kind of like insider info that investors need to know.
Yep. That's why we're doing the show. I mean, this is what it's all about. So
You're going to grade the phone bill? Robbie wants to know.
I mean, it depends. I got to see what kind of condition it comes in. And if it's a bad looking bill, if it got mishandled by the carrier, there's no point. Even if it's a 1-in-1 or 1 of 1, I don't know. So, all right, Chase, we've taken up enough of your valuable time. I know you've been browsing eBay. I hope you've been, shystering up on old people and stealing their collectibles, which is what eBay is for, I think. So is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up and move on and just kind of talk about our next show, which will not involve you?
What? I'm not coming back?
Oh, you can. I didn't think you'd want to. Most people don't.
All right. Well, all I've got to say is buy gem coins right now, guys. You can get them on Coinbase. They're 7 cents. I'm telling you, they're going to be 14 cents by the end of the week. You got to get your gem coins in.
What about
buy them.
Pogs?
It's the hottest new cryptocurrency that's used to buy 8-bit penises.
And it's just
Unknown caller.
Trying to wrap up.
18th, 1987.
All right. Hold on. I got to take this call. We got another one more call. I'm sorry, Chase. You're a very popular guy. People are really taking advantage of this opportunity. Caller, how can we help you? This is the Lost Joystick Network featuring Chase Peridot, the retro gem miner.
I'm sorry, I have one more question for Chase, Mr. Peridot. So I a lot of things about my portfolio I'm considering, and I came across a mint sealed 1989 Walton's Mario cake pan, and I was considering, since it's his birthday, would that be a good thing to invest in, or perhaps should I be investing in maybe that's something, I think they're the first NFTs really, and they're called VidPro cards that were at Toys R Us. They're just pictures of games, but not actual games.
All right, this is maybe a point of order moment. I'm gonna need you to drop the act caller here right now. Do you have a sealed Mario cake tin? Is this a legitimate question that you're asking me right now?
Well, I don't, maybe.
I think you might need to hang up the phone and reconsider what you're doing with your life. I think there's some great Mario collectibles out there. We're talking Mario SpaghettiOs. There's a Mario shaped can of spaghetti sauce, like tomato sauce. Those are great, but a cake tin, like this is the definition of grandma shit. Like you fundamentally understand who is in this market. It is cool guys who are 55 years old with slicked back white hair and sunglasses who want to feel like they're 8 years old again, okay? They're not thinking about baking cakes like grandma.
I actually have that cake tin, but it's not sealed.
What is wrong with everybody on this show? All right, thank you for your question. You can hang up now.
Okay. All right. Well, that was unexpected. I'm sorry about that. It was that guy seems to he keeps getting bad news after worse, So
VGA will grade it. I bet it's a pop 1. I mean, you might as well.
Well, they grade VidPro cards. So, and for those who don't know, VidPro cards are pictures of games, just like the caller said. So, you know what? They're kind of like the digital download cards of the 80s.
I mean, they are, and they're also like trading cards. And as we know, trading cards make so much more sense than VidPro cards.
And money.
You know what? Genuinely, VJ will grade VidPro cards.
Yes, they will.
Doesn't make fucking sense. They're not sealed. They're not new. They're stupid cards.
Look,
but I mean, all investment. Talk about something that no one cares about that you could try to make a thing. I know a bunch of people are doing it.
We're gonna do it. So, all right. I think it's time to wrap up. All right. Now you've been more than gracious with your time. We really appreciate you coming on. We've already talked about where people can find you, which is nowhere. And we've already talked about the things that you feel are the best investments going forward, which are the stupidest things, which we all agree. So, any words of advice that you want to leave Grail Nation with before we wrap up and start talking about the next episode, which you're more than invited to be on, okay? But I understand if you're busy. So anything you want to tell Grail Nation while we're sitting here, and you've got them.
No, I've given up everything. Go listen to the Collector's Quest podcast. It's way better than these jokers.
I couldn't agree more. Easily the most poignant thing you've said the entire evening. All right. Well, we appreciate your time, sir. And, you're welcome to hang out and criticize everything that we do from this point forward, which is just literally going to be the wrap up of the show. And you can shit on the game that we're going to talk about next, which, Jay.
Yes, sir.
What are we going to talk about next?
So next episode, we'll have, I know Robbie wasn't on tonight, so we'll have Robbie on for the next episode. That is going to be on the 26th at 8 p.m. We are going to be doing Golden Axe for the Sega Genesis.
Okay, very good.
So we do have a link tree.
And yeah, I was going to say, where can the people listening to us now find us?
On our link tree. And that is linkter.ee /Lost Joystick.
All right.
Or you can go to our regular social media pages if you want to go direct. Lost Joystick is for Instagram and Twitter. Lost Joystick Network is for Facebook and Twitch.
What about Threads?
We don't have Threads.
Yeah, good. Go ahead.
Matteo has Threads.
I don't care.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk to Matteo. He doesn't play his games.
Do we have an email?
Oh, we do. It is info@lostjoysticknetwork.com.
Fantastic.
You have a Patreon?
Yes, it's patreon.com/the collector's quest
/ Lost Joystick Network mooches off them.
Shh, no.
There are, there's all these dumb people out there who will pay for a free podcast. So, literally just make a Patreon and people will give you money for no reason. It's the craziest thing.
He's helping us earn even when we just sit here and don't ask.
Yeah.
All right.
I recommend the $6 level. It's the only one you should get.
Yeah.
That's the sweet spot.
I agree.
No $6 level. We're doing the get the Greg game strategy where it's like $10, $25, and $50.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think
Just
that's
go
the
for it.
strat.
Some people are crazy.
I think I'll do it. I think I'm going to do it. All right. Real quick. Anything else you want to add before I walk us out of here?
No, you keep asking me to add things.
I know.
Got it. I've already gone on all my rants.
Perfect. All right. Well, with that being said, I want to thank you for spending your time with us this evening and providing Grail Nation with so much useful information on how they can further their investment portfolio and how they potentially shouldn't be investing in sealed cake pans from the 80s. So with that, I'm going to say, go out there, have fun, be safe, and be excellent to each other. That was easily the funniest shit
My God.
I think I've ever been involved in.
I'm happy just to be here, listening. Like John, I thought we were gonna bring John in, but
I
John
thought he
just
was
kinda
going to
there
jump
tell
in, and he
us-
never did. And I didn't want to be like, John, are you there? You jumped in every once in a while, but I didn't want to nudge you. I don't know what to do. I was literally I have not laughed at the one caller who called about the TurboGrafx and the cake pan and SpaghettiOs. I'm not sure who that was because it was
I'm sure who it was.
unknown caller. No, you can't know because it said unknown caller. There's no way for you to know. That was some of the funniest shit. That whole thing was, oh, that's too bad. Thank you. And he would just say, oh, it's so sad. And he would just hang up oh, it's too bad to hear. Thank you anyway. Bye. He was just so kind. Oh, man. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, no, never mind. I won't say that then. I do want Tyler. Feel free not to step on Collector's Quest toes, but did you secure that package yet?
The Famicom Golf.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I got that. I talked about that, I think, in the underrated, overrated episode at the end of the 3 hours. It's totally fine. If you haven't heard that, I imagine most people don't make it all the way through a podcast. I absolutely do have that.
We do.
I had a drive back from Chicago. I listened to the Patreon episode too. I didn't know that you got it in though. Maybe you did say that.
Yeah, I did. You didn't see it on my Instagram because I deleted my Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Happy.
I got nowhere to like post cool things anymore. I posted it in the Collector's Quest Discord, and people were like, "Oh, cool," and then it's gone, and then no one will ever see it again.
Happy
When
birthday,
I
by the
should,
way,
like
Tyler.
we said in the episode, I should be putting that in front of as many people as possible so people know, hey, this thing you've never seen before exists. And by the way, I'm the coolest guy in the world because I have it and you don't because you didn't even know it existed.
Speaking of things that I have that you don't, Jay got me something kind of cool for my birthday. And I didn't even mention it during the show. It is the Black Label Legend of Zelda NES cart. If you can look in the stream right now. Look at that.
I'm looking. That looks super real.
It is. And you know that it's real because it must be like a factory refurb because it's the 3-screw. And you know this came out before the gold cart. So those would have been 5-screw. So whoever's putting these together obviously knew exactly what they were doing because they thought the Black Label would be before the gold. And then those were all 5-screw carts like in 1986 and 1987. But this had to have been, let me look and see. No, there's a sticker on the back, so it can't be a factory repro. I love that that's how we validate that, by the way, where there are guys literally heat gunning off like stickers off of carts and putting them on their carts. And the people are like, well, there's no sticker on the back of it, so it must be a factory refurb from Konami. Yeah, that ought to clear it up with no sticker there.
You have a 5-screw. First of all, if you're making like fake 5-screws, yeah, just take that sticker off. It'll be like 75% more likely to be like, oh yeah, that's probably real.
Oh, it's probably real. I'll buy that for $2,000 because there's only 3 of them that this guy made. And I do believe they exist, but you get my point. But yeah, I just laughed. I did laugh when Jay gave me this. Thank you very much, Jay. But I did laugh that it was a 3-screw cartridge. That made me laugh kind of. So this is going up in the wall over there. This is going to go.
It's the earliest print, but it's not gold.
Yeah, exactly. It's gray, but it's somehow a 3-screw, which was not designed. The Rev A, it doesn't even say Rev A on it either. So you know it must be a refurb. It must be.
What you might not have considered is that WATA will grade that because they'll just grade it.
I thought that was great when I was like, it's not even real, so we know they'll probably grade it or whatever I said. Oh, if it's not real, that's no problem. They'll grade it. What's oh, that was the TurboGrafx.
Yes.
I still don't know who that was that called, but man, that was some funny shit.
Get some moldy bread and then take the mold and put it on there, then send it into WATA so you can get it a moldy repro.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good idea. They give you a red sticker for that now though. If it has mold, it's a red sticker, and that's like getting the purple sticker from CGC. That's like the kiss of death. Oh. Like, oh, it's been modified or it's fucked up.
Speaking of, when we were talking to Matt, he said he loves the retro gem miner videos.
Yeah,
he was really excited about you being on the show, so he probably will listen to this.
We were actually talking to Matt from CGC pretty extensively. He actually bought all of Nick Sheptak's high-end NES games for like $6,000. I mean, I don't want to put his business out there, but he literally was like, "Yeah, give me all those. I'll give you $6,000 for him." Because Nick was basically getting out of collecting, and he sold, I'd say, 27 cartridges, including Power Blade 2, Panic Restaurant, all those things, and Matt just bought them. So,
all the old people stuff that just doesn't matter anymore.
That's exactly like Stack
Seems
Up.
like the wrong thing to do. I don't know.
I'm trying to perpetuate the stupid things, but it's hard because a lot of people seem to be doing that.
You didn't talk about.
I don't even know what to buy anymore. I'm just trying to like buy things that other people aren't buying because I just hate competing with people.
Like
if I'm
VidPro
bidding
cards?
against anyone on Japan or Heritage Auctions or even eBay now, I just lose all the time.
Yeah.
And like even a year or two ago, I always put in just like stupid bids and I just hope that the person under me knows what a thing is worth because I don't want to look up prices. That's basically what I do. I put in like, this seems like in the realm of reasonableness, and I hope the person bidding under me knows what it's actually worth because I'm not doing the research. But I've been doing that and I'm like still losing 75% of my auctions now. So I really want to find stuff that just like no one cares about because I hate all this losing them.
Yeah, I think
there's a complete in box like 8.0 Mario 64 on Heritage right now.
Wow.
I don't think anybody's bidding on that.
Never going to see one of those again.
Yeah, that's the end of that.
Oh, we should have gone on to Heritage and looked at some of the investments. There's a sealed Video Life. Like, does anyone here even know what Video Life is?
I'm going to tell you, first of all, this will not be the last of these episodes because that was easily the funniest shit we've ever done. Number two, if you're up to it. Number two, I was watching Heritage Auctions last night, and literally they had a lot of what they deemed like very good complete in box AVE NES games. And like, if you've ever dreamed about, owning 4 AVE games like F-15, this is not even a joke. Like 4 CIB fair to good conditioned AVE games, none of which were rare or exciting or whatever. And there was like a lot on, and people bid on it like briefly.
Yeah, no, I saw the lot. I considered bidding on the lot, and because I mean, it was like it had like blackjack, and like it has like some of these, like I don't know if it had like pyramid, like they're not rare or exciting games, but it's like, all right, I could use some games that people don't really think about, and like who's gonna bid on this on Heritage auctions? It might go cheap, but then like after Heritage puts in like a $50 buyer's fee and charges you $60 to ship this garbage, it's like, okay, well, there's no way this could go for $1 and it won't be a deal.
Yep. Let's see. I'm looking it up right now. I'm gonna go sign in because you can't see any of this information without signing in. That's how the suckers can't get all the information, right? You got to make sure that
$204.
it sold for $204. Now this is the problem. Okay, one of the problems with Heritage auctions is when you let me go back and look here. Okay, let me get this out of my face. Where's this stupid thing? That game actually sold for $139, right? But that's the includes buyer premium. What it actually sold for was like $104, right? But this is how they pump markets, and they go, well, it sold for $15,000, but if you add the 20% buyer's premium or whatever it is, it becomes $18,000. So it sold for $18,000, even though the seller only gets like $13.5 after you take the 15, subtract 10%, and then we take our 20% plus whatever happens to that stuff in the middle that nobody talks about. So that's the part that the suckers don't get.
I mean, I think it makes sense because what matters is what someone's willing to pay for it. And if a seller gets half of it, like, who cares? I care what the buyer paid for it.
No, I get it.
More sense as the price.
I get it. I think the part that irritates me is that I'm like, okay, like I would have given you X amount of money for the game, but I'm not going to give Heritage Auctions another thousands of dollars for it. Like, why don't we just talk directly? Instead of putting something up for auction and letting it sit there for a month and then getting, let's just say $16,000 or something. Okay. When really what you're getting is $14,400 if you're lucky. And then you got to pay taxes and all that stuff. But if I came to you and said, hey, you want $14,000 cash for that? Wouldn't that make more sense to you than having to wait a month to get less money and have to claim taxes on it? Anyway, I digress. Moving on.
Are we endorsing tax fraud here on the Lost Joystick?
I'm not endorsing anything. I'm just saying whatever that person has to do once they get the cash from me, that's up to them. I'm not endorsing it. I'm not endorsing anything.
Tax fraud. I'm 100% pro.
I also love that you completely. This is Jay, by the way. I love that you like flat out shit on the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for Wii U created, and I grabbed a copy and put it up. I was like, oh. That's bad now? What's happening?
Yeah, what are you doing? I picked like the most, like a game that like even people who hate graded games on Reddit might be like, hey, I've got my stash of Wii U Breath of the Wild. These are going to be so valuable
you
one day.
Fools.
It's the rare version.
It's the 80. Yeah, I got the 80. I think I paid $52 for this, but 80 plus. I'm sorry.
My God, you could have just bought one at Best Buy cheaper than that.
Yeah, should have. Oh, well.
I'm kidding.
Anyway, I know.
No, I'm not. Is it the 7 controllers on the back?
No, of course it's not. It's the shitty 2 controller version.
All right, perfect.
This is why I like talking to you because I was
Amazon 3 years after the game.
Yes, exactly. It's the 0001 of Wii U. So
I like it as a meme.
Yeah,
it's gonna have meme value, which makes it stupid, which obviously is gonna make it worth $400.
Which means it'll be worth a lot. So, all right. Well, thank you for coming on, Bud. I really appreciate it. That was like there were multiple times where I couldn't even hear what was going on. I was laughing. We had to mute ourselves so many times, not just because Jay farts so much this time. Usually that's the problem. So I think the big questions I have coming out of that episode are, when are you coming to visit, coming in studio? Because we need that. Okay. And then what video game conference will you be attending that we can all hang out with? Because man, we missed you, VGS. You would have fit right in. Okay, nerd. And, we got to figure this out. So.
All right. Is Johnny
VGS is not a great show.
It's not a great show, but it's a good time.
I mean, no, I like the show, but not for that much travel.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh, yeah. Man, I've got like other things that I spend my precious PTO on. I live in the United States of America, which is a capitalist system, which means that the thing that they put the most value on is my labor. So I only get so much time off. So I think I'm not going to Portland next year. And I do want to spend some of my time off taking backpacking trips, because that's my one hobby that I fucking do outside. That's not like sitting on eBay or sitting in front of my computer and talking about the video games I buy on eBay, which two ridiculous hobbies. And then I go travel across the country to go look at a bunch of video games and maybe buy more of them and talk to my friends who also do the same thing. Crazy hobby.
Well, at least come to Midwest Gaming Classic.
Yes, so I'm thinking about skipping Portland next year and going to MGC.
I think you should. I think you should come to Midwest Gaming Classic.
Johnny is saying the same thing in chat, and I know a bunch of people have been saying the same thing.
Yep, we had a fantastic time last time, and
Midwest was fun.
yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of fun, and we would love to have you. And like I said, like we'll, Kaylin and I don't know what we'll do next year, but I'm sure we'll get a table, and it gives you like you guys have done before. It gives you like a good home base to just come and drop stuff off or whatever. And we drive in, so if you need things shipped or anything like that, we can take care of all that stuff too. If you bought something stupid like a Steel Battalion or something, we could ship it to you. So
Well, that and Kaylin and Matteo are like 5 minutes away. Robbie's an hour away.
yeah, but I don't trust them.
Robbie load that bitch up in the van. He can drive it anywhere you want in the US.
You could play a Nintendo game in his van with the CRT of marginal quality on the way back. So anyway, yeah.
I just want Johnny to go to Midwest Gaming Classic because he'll lose his mind being in the Midwest.
I don't think that's a real thing. So
It is.
all right,
Midwest Madness, it's a real thing.
it's a real Midwest Madness.
So I don't know what you have to do, but you have to coordinate with Johnny to get tables next to each other, because Johnny's not going to want to use your table. Johnny's going to have enough stuff that he's going to probably get a table with Mr. CIB again, and they're going to sell all this amazing complete in box garbage.
Or honestly, what we do is I have all the, because that shit takes a bunch of weird ass paperwork and tax forms in Wisconsin. Usually what I did, like, I don't want to out anybody, but what you might do is to say, I would get multiple tables and then we would all just kind of be there under the guise of one owner of the table. So I could handle all the logistics of all of it, and all they'd have to do was show up. Now, that being said, is he going to want to bring all of his stuff from California to Milwaukee? That's the...
Yeah, I'll check that stuff. Whatever.
Okay.
He could ship it.
He could ship it to us. We'd bring it.
Yeah.
Or you can even ship it to the venue, actually. They'll take care of it. So, all right, we'll talk about all that another time. But the answer is...
When was the last Midwest Gaming Classic? Were you guys there?
Yeah, it was the end of March, beginning of April.
So I don't remember. Did they have Atari games there?
Yes.
Like,
they had
maybe
everything.
5 decent Atari games.
I bought a bunch of nice Atari boxes from Kaylin, actually, as part of... But yeah, they do. They have them.
When I think of show, like I have not been to a Midwest Gaming Classic yet, and I think of it more as an old man gaming show, which sounds more fun to me.
I wouldn't say that, but I would say this. The guy who does the multi-cart for the Vectrex and does the repro overlays, he was there. So if that makes
exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. So yes, I mean, to answer your question, yeah, there's plenty of that kind of stuff. So yes,
Because I thought it was super, super weak at Portland Retro Gaming Expo.
Yeah.
And like, I'm really keen to buy more Atari games, because I mean, it's just better to buy that stuff in person with the condition, and because most Atari games are $20 and it's just not worth dealing with someone shipping that garbage in bubble mailers. So I like buying it in person, and I can't find Atari games in person, because game stores are just like, you like computer games, you like Atari games, you want a VIC-20 game, we're not going to stock that garbage for you. No one buys this stuff.
It's in the
So just, like,
dumpster,
you don't even
loser.
have it.
It's in the dumpster.
One store. What was that, John?
Oh, here in Kansas City, they just try to sell it to you for $20. So I'm looking at those
Sean said
math games on the TI-88. They wanted like $20 for it. I'm like, nobody's gonna
For a cartridge?
For a cartridge, yeah, loose cartridge.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
That's
At
insanity.
least with the Atari 400, they got this nice wetty.
That's a
metal
computer.
kind of
Nobody cares about
cases.
that. That does not count. Jay, you were going to say something?
Oh, Sean just said that the Vectrex guy won't make any deals. Well, the
Not-
Vectrex guy will make no deals.
That's not true. I bought 2 multi-carts and 2 sets of overlays, and he cut us a deal.
Oh,
Yep.
well, maybe that's why.
Yep. But that
Sean
was
should have
also...
bought 2
Vectrex
complete
stuff.
sets.
What's that?
Why are you buying Vectrex stuff?
He's got a Vectrex.
I have a working one, and I wanted a multi-cart, and then why not get the overlays? That was the dumb... The multi-cart was $60. The overlays were $200.
Jeez.
I'll never use the overlays. That was the dumb buy. That was
That's why he gave you a discount.
That was the I'm punch drunk selling all these imports. Let's just fucking buy him. Matt wants one. Well, I'll get him that for helping, and I'll buy one for myself. Fuck it. And then I got home and I'm like, I'm never gonna pull these out. They won't be sealed anymore. Anyway,
They're like repro thing. They're like new. What
yes.
are you talking about? They won't be sealed anymore.
I know that's a joke.
I have been. Oh man, like
Mr.
when I buy,
Boston
like, a
needs more
homebrew
love.
or
Yes.
Something, because I buy all these NES homebrews from like Kickstarter, and like they're games that I usually want to play, and I look at them, I'm like, oh, I gotta open my homebrew box. This game that was manufactured in 2023. Oh, I'm breaking open a sealed.
It was
NES
yeah.
game.
It was folded by the guy who sold it to you. By the way, he opened it to put the game in that he made in there as well.
Exactly.
So it has been opened before by the guy who made it that you just bought it from. Have you played that Gunther, whatever one, the shooter?
No, I haven't played
The
that.
guy, I'll send you a picture. I actually bought it at there was a little 8-bit gaming show here a few months ago, and the guy who programmed it was actually there. He was crunchy, man. He was a nice guy. He was a super hippie dude, but I bought it off of him. He was a nice guy. So, but it's a fun shooter. It's surprisingly there's no slowdown, and there's a lot of stuff going on just because of the tricks he uses and stuff. So. But anyway, I don't do too much of that stuff. I guess I'm not a famous person, podcast or something, so fuck me. What is Sean saying? Why is he? We love Sean. He is.
I do love Sean.
He's
Sean's
the best. Sean and his crew are the best, man.
I didn't get to his yet. I was reading. I saw Tiger Wolf said here the Midwest is the Paris.
Yeah, it's the Paris. Yes, it's true. So, all right, we don't want to keep you all night, bud, and we appreciate you coming on. So, I think we're probably gonna cut it off here. And
Sean is at Midwest.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody, everyone skip Portland, and we're all going to show up at MGC and have beers and eat pizza, and it's going to be cool.
100%. And stay.
I don't know.
Pro tip.
Play Atari. Someone's going to play combat with me. I haven't played combat with anyone since I was like 9 years old.
I'll play. Stay at the hotel that the venue's in. That's the biggest life hack ever, man. It makes so much easier.
Yeah,
he was talking about the DLC
the
of Vectrex.
hotel room, I have to like worry about it. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I guess he was saying because I got the deal on the Vectrex stuff. Yeah, famous podcast personality is a subjective term. So anyway,
Well, I was gonna say, Sean, next time just tell them you're on
or oxymoron. Yeah, just tell them you're on the show.
They won't they'll know.
What are they? If they ask me, I'll say yes.
Just be like, yeah, I'm the funny
that's
guy
Jay.
that collects games.
That's Jay. And then y'all be like, yeah, it's probably Jay or Mike. I don't know. I can't fucking tell. They all look the same.
Yeah.
They're all a bunch of nerds. Anyway, all right, bud. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Clear's gotta go.
I'm sorry for disparaging you. It was all in character.
No, it was all for fun.
Oh,
You
dude,
don't
it was
have to-
hilarious.
No,
Actually,
dude, you don't have to apologize for anything. That was the best.
the King Diamond comment was awesome, but it threw me off because I was so shocked that you even said it. I would have never expected you
that's
to
more
say
of a
King
yes
Diamond.
or King Diamond. I was like, I lost it on that one. Oh my god, that was so
King
Yeah,
Crimson, I think.
King Crimson.
I
King
just-
Crimson.
King Crimson,
If
that's
they're
what it
more
was.
impressed by whatever the fuck King Diamond is, I'm into it.
King Crimson. Yeah, King Crimson.
King Crimson.
Yep.
King
Oh,
Diamond's
King
even better.
Yeah,
In
no,
the
I
court.
just discovered them like a couple years ago. I'd never heard of them before. And now
I think I
I'm
got
like,
that record over
it's
there.
all
Oh,
good
wow.
I only
Isn't
collect free
King
range
Crimson-
artists.
I think King Crimson's the band that originally did Am I Evil, isn't it?
I don't know. They did in the
I don't know.
court
You
of
think
King Crimson.
I've just started. I've listened to one
think they
band my
are.
whole life, Iron Maiden, and I just started listening to like a second band. So I don't. know.
Dude, shut the fuck up. You are
Will
like an Iron Maiden guy?
That and Will Smith.
Oh, I listen to the most popular metal band on planet Earth. Yeah, I'm really hardcore and underground like that. Yes.
You'd be amazed how many people don't like Iron Maiden.
How about
Aren't
that
they,
new
like,
album?
the most listenable metal music ever?
Yeah, it was one of the best
I don't
concerts
know.
I ever went to.
John, you said something. I'm sorry.
What did you say? Best concert you ever went to?
Oh, yeah.
See you, Robbie.
Because I live in Raleigh, which is like we have like a small amphitheater, and Iron Maiden shows up and fills up like a third of this small amphitheater. It was like the saddest looking concert I've ever been to. And then Bruce Dickinson's up there like doing backflips on stage, being a crazy old 60-year-old guy.
I mean,
So yeah,
you're
Iron Maiden was
Bruce
the best concert
Dickinson,
I've ever
man.
been to, too.
Oh, yeah, that dude rules.
So
He is amazing, and he
All
flies
right.
planes, which is super cool. What a guy!
I have an Iron Maiden coffee mug. Yes, he does.
yeah, he sure does. I know where he got it too. Sean has an Iron Maiden coffee mug that Sean was our first listener that reached out when we were doing a contest and emailed us, and
I was like, I got to throw something. in.
I cut him a sweet deal on something. I actually think I cut him a sweet deal at VGS too, but I think it's just the trend now. But we gave him a couple of prizes for listening. We had to buy our listeners just like now. Like, don't worry, I'm gonna Venmo you the money. Are you on Venmo still, or is it all like? Do I have to send you a ethereal or whatever?
You can just pay me cash.
Not you. I was talking to the star.
Right.
Oh, I only take Gemcoin now.
Oh, right. That's right. Because it's 7, gonna be 14. My bad. I had a brain fault. So, all right, we're out of here
soon.
Yeah, we'll talk soon.
See you, Clearvis. He said he was leaving. That's
all right. We're out of here.
All right.
All right, Sean, Valdor,
Love you guys
Tiger
all.
Wolf,
You guys the best.
Love you. You're
Tyler.
the best. Thanks,
dude. John.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Robbie.
thank you, John. Thank you for
Everybody.
everything, bud.
Johnny.
All right.
I don't think I missed
Bye.
any.